Hello everyone. Now, let me just hold on. Change over here. Mm-hmm. Alright, I think that should do it. Yeah, I think so. Hello everyone. How you doing? Hope you guys are having a good day so far. So yeah, last stream, which was yesterday, we did some good progress with Ratchet and Clank. Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, we actually did pretty good. Although that wasn't the original plan. The original plan was just doing more Virtua Tennis, but the guy wasn't available yesterday. But and it looks like the game. I think he is available today. Yeah, I think he's already on it. So yeah, we're gonna be going back to more Virtua Tennis. Yeah, thankfully. And maybe tomorrow I can probably do some more off stream because tomorrow's a holiday, so I'm not gonna be working. I don't know if he's also gonna be available all days. We'll see. We'll see. And also, that means also that this is gonna be a long streamer. So if everything goes in the way that I'm thinking, we can probably do some Crash of the Titans. Maybe in the second half of the stream. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. So yeah, with all that said and done. Also, hi there, Scrod. Hope you're doing good. Yeah. Shit. Here we go again. But yeah, with all that said and done, let's go straight to it, shall we? And first, I need to plot Discord. Don't need the VC thing anymore. For now, at least. Alright, where are you? Should probably just always have fucking. Should probably just have Discord. I probably should just have Discord on standby. And of course, this thing needs a fucking update. No, whatever. I'll update Discord later. Mm-hmm. Okay. Turn this off. Don't need it. Let's see. There we go. Much better. Alright. Yeah. There's gonna be another chill stream. Okay. Hopefully that should work. Yep, there we go. Alright, let's go into it. Mm-hmm. Hold on. I'm just getting some stuff done. Funny that we just funny that we've been doing this game because right now we're gonna be doing another Sega game, which is Sonic Unleashed. Funny how things turn out.
Virtua Tennis 2009.
Mm-hmm. There. Alright, let's see if I can pull up Animate again. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, you were just in the middle of this one. Good. I'll just put this immediately on ranked, be searching so that I can actually set this thing up without anything getting in the way. Let's see. Made this? That was this. Every Virtua Tennis grind streamed. Yeah, almost all of them, yeah. That's the thing though. This is just the online stuff. We're gonna have to deal with the single player stuff later. And you know one thing, Scrod? This isn't gonna be like the only game that's gonna be a fucking chore to do the online. I'm pretty sure that Hawk 1, well, maybe just Hawk 1. Hawk 2, from what I've seen, seems to be pretty chill with the multiplayer trophies, but Hawk 1 has a lot of fucking online stuff to do. So we might have to do more farming stuff on that game as well. Once we're done with this game, that is. Why do I keep saying Hawk? It's Hawks. Yeah, every fucking time I say Hawk, I say Hawk. Should have been here by now. There you are. Here we go.
But I will admit there was a part of me that was very disappointed how the story itself was not really all that great. And it was a bit frustrating as well because every single thing that this movie would do, they nailed it perfectly. I love the animation, I love the characters, I love the comedy, I love the dynamic that each of the bad guys have with one another.
Right.
I love the heart of it. I love the
reminder of what we were doing before with anime. I think it was probably talking about Bad Guys 2, right? Yeah, I think that's what it was. There's like an announcement for the second the Bad Guys movie.
The story would have been a lot better if it would have been more engaging, more unpredictable and stuff like that. We would have had like easily one of the best animated movies of the decade. So yeah, honestly, like even though I have my criticisms about it, I still love this movie. Like it definitely is awesome. And
how many
honestly,
trophies do I have for this
should
game?
come with no surprise that
I
with
think
a
that's
movie
like
that has gathered
40
such
40
fanfare
something, maybe
that
like
they would go
45.
and
I should have like
immediately create a
probably
sequel. I honestly, I don't
early
see why
10s,
not.
like 13
why not
or
have
12.
like another round with
Or maybe
these
like 15.
characters. Now, I will say that there is one
Although
thing
most
that,
of them you can do
honestly,
just
I
with
do
the single
question a
player, you
little
just
bit
those
from
few
this whole
trophies that
announcement,
you
and
need
that is in regards to
multiplayer. The problem is
idea of
those
what they
those
have
multiplayer
with the
trophies
plotline,
take a
where
really
the
fucking
bad
long to
guys
finish.
have to do one last job where they kind of got out of being bad guys, but now they gotta go back to becoming bad guys. I don't know about you, but I feel like considering that now that we are seeing former villains as protagonists, that it's becoming more and more of a thing.
I did get
like
I think it was just one trophy in Ratchet and Clank yesterday.
Stories about bad guys who turn into good guys,
it was just
like
one.
it's becoming a lot more common. And when we see that they would go into
here we go.
a sequel or something, or if they
I
would
have
a
16
follow-up
out of
story,
51
like,
trophies.
It feels like it's kind of a common route that
That's
they would have
like,
to do that one last job as a
22%
bad guy. Like we've
done.
seen it with Despicable Me 3, for
That's
example,
keeping in mind that
when
the
Gru's
gold trophies
long-lost
give you
brother
like way
Drew
more
wants
percentage.
to get into the villain business and asks for the help of Gru. Or, like, we even saw recently a little bit of that with Megamind versus the Doom Syndicate, where now that Megamind is a good guy, but still has to pretend to be a bad guy to his former buddies with
if
the
you want,
Doom Syndicate.
If you want, you could actually do this. Hold on. Let me just hide this for a bit. Yeah, hold on. I'm gonna give you like a link. Here we go. Then you. Yeah, you can use this link, and you can see the trophies that I have. Yeah, I use this site all the fucking time when looking into trophies.
I mean, say what you will about Ralph Breaks the Internet, but you gotta give it credit that at
Yeah,
least
I
it
use
didn't
PSN
really
profiles
go
all
into
the fucking
that
time when
direction, and it
going
tries
after
to be a little
trophy
bit of its
lists
own
and shit.
thing. I mean,
They even
in a
have
way,
like, they even
Ralph
have
kinda
like
did go
trophy
back
guides
to
telling
being
which
the bad guy,
which
but
trophy
not
requires
necessarily on
online.
purpose. It's more because of his dependency on the friendship of Vanellope. So there is that factor. I just want to go into quickly mention. So how that plot line is going to be handled here with the bad guys.
Okay,
now
there we go.
they are going to be doing the same thing. You know, that they're going to be doing a little bit of the same thing here. Honestly, it's like we're gonna have to go and wait and see. Honestly, that's gonna be the one thing that I do question. But then again,
I mean, I actually didn't see the original Bad Guys, but I wouldn't mind actually watching it.
And a part
Yeah,
of me
I
is
think I
also
could
very
probably
excited
easily
for
watch it on my
I
TV
am hoping
if I wanted
that
to.
with this,
Although I just need fucking free time for
that
it.
golden tradition that DreamWorks Animation has. The fact that when they would go and release their second film, they would usually come out as one of the best movies from the studio. I don't know if I would say that this is a tradition or that, oh, this often, you know.
I mean, I can kind of see that. You know, with Shrek 2, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Kung Fu Panda 2. What else? What else? Madagascar 2. Although I do think that Madagascar 3 is the better movie. Yeah, I think most of their like number 2s are actually pretty good.
This usually happens, or that's the thing with DreamWorks Animation, but it's just, it coincidentally seems to fall into that. That whenever DreamWorks would go and make a second installment of one of their movies, they usually come out to be not just the best of the franchise, but some of their best films. I feel like, at least in my opinion, that is definitely the case with Shrek 2, with Kung Fu Panda 2, with How to Train Your Dragon 2.
Yeah, you literally said the exact same fucking movies that I said. Goddamn.
And even just recently with Puss in Boots: The Last Wish.
Yeah, Puss in Boots too.
And I know there were some
literally
that,
the exact
honestly,
same
it's
fucking
debatable
movies.
if they're even better than the first. Like,
All
I
except
don't know
Puss in
about
Boots.
Madagascar, Escape to Africa, or the Crew. You know, like with that second Cruise movie. But I would even, but then again, I would say that for other,
I'd say like Madagascar
for
2 was
their
definitely the better movie of the
their
three.
second film
Madagascar
usually
2
turns out to
was
be
pretty good,
the best
and
one
I have
so
a lot
far.
of nostalgia
Like
with the
The
first
Boss
one,
Baby
but yeah, I
Family
definitely have to
Business,
say Madagascar
definitely
2
an
was probably the
improvement
better
from the
one.
first one. I mean, it goes a little too chaotic, but then again, at least that is something of value, more so than what you would get in the first film. And even with Trolls, honestly, I'm not a fan of the Trolls movies, but that second film, Trolls World Tour, I gotta admit, it's decent, and I love the world building that they have built upon that. So that's why I want to say that with DreamWorks Animation, usually with their number 2 films, they usually turn out to be absolutely amazing. And I am
Either that or
hoping
just
that maybe
most probably just the
this
better
is the
of
case
the
with the bad
series.
guys. That maybe they'll bring back those elements with what has worked with the first bad guys, but they're going to go and improve upon some of those mistakes. I know that I was a little bit critical with what I've mentioned about what I think about the plot line with the what they have in store with that one last job thing, but who knows? Maybe they could go and turn things around, and it could actually work out so beautifully. It could actually work out very, very well, where the quality of the storytelling could actually match up with the rest of it to turn out to be
Well,
not
just
just
wait
an
and see,
amazing
though.
feature, but maybe one
You
of the
can,
best
you
animated
can,
movies
we can
that we will have
say all this
in
changes,
that
the movie
year.
ends up being
Is that
fucking
going to be
shit.
the case? That I don't know.
Yeah, it's
We
all
will
just
have
a
to
wait and
and
see.
And I know there's not necessarily a whole lot of info that we
Yeah, I
got
forgot to
here, but
fucking do
so
this.
far, I'm going to say, with the fact that they are going to go and make a Bad Guys 2, and they've already revealed a bunch of stuff that they already got a lot of the original cast and crew
Here we go.
that they are
Fix the
going to be coming
microphone.
back, ensuring that the spirit of the Bad
Yeah,
Guys,
there we
what
go.
we got with the first
Add a
film,
little bit away
will
with
still
the
be
thing.
intact. The
No, it
fact
actually
that we are
matches
going
what's
to be
going
getting
on.
it pretty soon. Honestly, there a lot of these I'm like, I'm just full on optimistic. I wouldn't even say cautiously I wouldn't even say cautiously optimistic. I'm just full on optimistic. I feel like there's a very high chance this is going to be another great time, and that honestly, the only thing that
Man. Yeah, you can do that same thing with the. You can also look up your own profile with that site. You just have to like go to the main into the main page and just type in your profile.
I can hope for is that whatever flaws that I find that are in the first
very
film,
handy
that they
for
will
trophy
be improved
hunting.
upon, and we could have something that could go from like really good to absolutely amazing. So yeah, I'm definitely excited for this. And if you are excited as well for the Bad Guys 2, then keep in
Although
mind
I do
that
have
the
a
movie
lot
will
of
be
fucking
coming
trophies
out
on my
August 1st of
backlog.
2025.
Just
So
don't,
with
not
that
just
said,
like
I'd like to go into the chat wall and
not just like games that I haven't done at all, like games that I have on my trophy lists. They have like some trophies collected and I still need to get the rest. Yeah, I still need a lot of them, especially on the PS3.
I'd like to ask you all, are you all excited for the Bad Guys 2? Or are you more concerned about a sequel for the Bad Guys 2? I would love to know what you all think of this, including your opinion on the first feature. Okay, so let's see what we got here. The Bad Guys was a fun movie and had a blast with the action, comedy, and characters. Honestly, I'm interested in the sequel. However, I'm concerned about production and release date. It's supposed to come out next year.
We don't really know
the
much
film,
about
the first movie came out in 2022.
sequel story,
it feels
right?
like that was enough time,
Unless
or that they were
unless
working
I
on the
completely
sequel
skipped that by
simultaneously with the
accident.
first, that it was being animated. However, knowing this will be animated by Sony ImageWorks, that could explain the rush production. Yeah, that is true. And I mean, it wasn't that long ago that they did sign that deal with Sony ImageWorks so that they would go and make the movies. And it is true that right now this is going to be a production where Sony ImageWorks is going to be doing the animation on this. Oh boy, like I would say, yeah, and I mean, like,
who's ImageWorks?
Technically, you could say that maybe they did start production.
Maybe like a smaller team,
the first
maybe?
Bad Guys, and giving them like
Or just another,
over 3 years
or they're
to
like
work on
outsourcing the animation,
which,
maybe.
is a decent amount of time to go and create an animated feature. Maybe that could be the case, but yeah, I don't know. Like I'm just hoping at least the production, like hopefully the production is not too
it doesn't
rushed,
get affected
that
too
hopefully
much.
The crew will have their act together in order to go and create a proper story for this. It's just. I don't know. Like you do bring up
Nobody
one
likes
thing
crunch.
that it is concerning, but
Especially
still,
if it's something that people really like.
At least for my own sake, I want to remain optimistic about what we're gonna have with this. Anyways, as someone who really loves the original Bad Guys and consider it one of DreamWorks animated one of DreamWorks animated films in recent years, or I think you mean one of their best, because
one of the better
just
ones.
saying that it is one of their animated films of recent years, it's like, yep,
Yes.
it sure is one of their
It
films
sure
they
is.
recently put out.
It sure is something that they put out
I'm very
recently.
excited for this. I can see how the story could work, and I'm really excited to see the new characters they introduce. So I'm very excited. Also, how much you want to bet anti-woke dweebs are going to get triggered over having an all-female group? Well, I mean, just having females in general, they're just going to go and freak out.
There's always going to be those types of people.
They would use
Especially
that
on Twitter.
as sex material, because you know how much these anti-woke guys, that they love objectifying women, and who knows, like we've seen the way that Diana Foxington, how she's definitely been the subject of a lot of furry bait. So you never know what these other
it's pretty much
girls may
almost
offer
any
as well. We'll just have to wait and see on that.
animated female character,
Let's see now.
especially if they're
I am
animals.
pretty sure that the sequel
They're always
will
gonna
probably
run
be
into
good
fucking
or
furry
better than
bait.
the original, as DreamWorks has a history of making great sequels like Kung Fu Panda 2, Madagascar 3, Shrek 2, and Puss in Boots 2. A bit off topic to Pixar here, but I'm one of the few people who thinks Cars 2 is a great movie. One notable person who agrees is the late and great Roger Ebert. Yeah, I mean, you go, dude. I mean, if you love Cars 2, then please enjoy it as much as you want. It's your movie.
More power to you, I guess.
It's your movie. Some people might not agree with you, but I mean, hey, who doesn't have an opinion on movies that not everyone else would go freaking agree upon? So, I mean, if you enjoy Cars 2, that is awesome. Go
Yeah,
nuts
I
with
forgot
it.
what
It's your movie.
what I was
Like,
gonna
have
do
as
on
much
my phone.
fun as you can.
I was about to
and
search
ignore the
up
haters.
something, and I completely forgot about what it
Anyways,
was.
let's see what else we got here. What other comments? To quote Peter Griffin, I am so effing ready. Jumps through the roof. Ever since I saw it back in 2022, The Bad Guys has become one of my favorite DreamWorks movies, and to hear that follow-up is coming next year makes me want to, well,
I don't
jump
remember
through
that
the
scene
roof.
from Family Guy.
You bet your rear
Maybe-
that this is my
maybe
most
it's
anticipated
later
movie
Family Guy,
of
maybe.
next year. Also, the fact that we're gonna get more of Diane is enough to make me go, "Awooga!" But you know what
there
I
we
find
go.
to be very interesting, though, is that now, on that particular year, we are going to see a little bit of an animated matchup. Because keep in mind, this is not going to be the only animated sequel that furries absolutely adore that we are going to get. Because not only are we going to get The Bad Guys 2 in 2025, but we are also getting Zootopia 2. And not to mention that we also
oh, no,
that
not
movie
even
as
bigger
well
furry baits.
also has a Fox character that furry fans
And also, do I have to remind you about that one scene in the original Zootopia where they go inside the fucking sanctuary, or whatever, and all these animals just fucking squatting and shit.
absolutely
Now
adore.
that's some
So
serious
I thought
fucking
it would
furry
also
bait.
be worth mentioning that, like, I just thought of this now. It's like, we're getting another one of those fascinating coidences. That now we're getting The Bad Guys
just gonna
2,
be the new
and we're getting
Barbenheimer.
we're getting Zootopia 2. I don't know why my mind was going
Or
elsewhere.
like
but
Ants
yeah,
and
at least
Bugs Life thing
I got
again.
it now. All right. Anyways, let's see what we got. When a DreamWorks sequel is announced, the cartoon community will go crazy for it, and not calling it unnecessary. But when Disney Animation announced their sequel, cartoon fans will immediately start an angry mob over it and call it unnecessary. How dare they want to do more with their characters?
Okay,
Anyways,
remember
I
what
can't
it
wait
was.
to check out The
it's
Bad
okay.
Guys 2. I hope it won't be a disappointment and at least be fun. Hey, I mean, like I know I just want to state, I know I have my criticisms with it, but that doesn't mean that I was full on disappointed. You know, I'm not calling The Bad Guys a disappointment. It's just one of those things, like, I was disappointed that it wasn't a perfect movie,
Okay, yeah.
considering that
Wait,
most of the things that it
completely
offers
forgot.
is a
I
perfect
thought
movie.
May
So I
May
just want
1st
to make
like Labor's Day.
that clarification.
I was like
right
waking
there.
up, but that was like just here, and
Anyways,
that's what it's an
The Bad
international
Guys is definitely
holiday.
one of DreamWorks' most underrated movies, so a sequel definitely seems right up my alley. Though
so
with
the guy should be
story, I'll
available,
admit that the plotline does sound a
tomorrow
little
as well.
predictable, but then again, DreamWorks'
Maybe.
track
We'll
record
see.
with second installments is fantastic. If you
I
ignore
can,
Spirit Untamed.
I can
My
never
one
know
big
this
ask
guy.
is, though, give this one a better, less predictable villain. Yeah, that is true. Well, okay, I'm just gonna state this right now. I don't think I can count Spirit Untamed as a sequel. You know, it's not really a sequel to the Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. You know,
Yeah.
it's more of a
Yeah, it's definitely not a
it's
sequel.
more
It
of
continues.
a film version
Kind of
of the
continues, but
TV
not
show
really.
that they have gotten. It's more like it's not that connected like it's a freaking sequel. And I will say, yeah, like if you're gonna have a villain, please be better than Professor Marmalade. I mean that plot twist villain was just so bad. Even the Disney plot twist villains are like they saw Professor Marmalade and they just went, ooh, that ain't it, Chief. You know, it's like that bad. Anyways, I'll read one more before we go into our final break. As a fan of the first Bad Guys
probably
film, I am
I
excited
wouldn't
for
say
this
that he's
movie. And
I wouldn't say he's
to
as
see
bad as some of
Best
the
Girl
twist
Diane
villains in the
Fox-
Disney movies, especially like I don't even remember the guy's name from like the twist villain from Frozen. The guy that just almost kills fucking Elsa or whatever. I don't remember his name. The guy that tried to marry her sister or whatever.
Player 1 to serve.
He definitely has a little bit more personality. Yeah, Marmalade definitely has a bit more personality than him, to the point that I can actually remember his fucking name. To the point that I can actually remember his name.
30 love.
But yeah. For some reason, twist films have become pretty fucking shit recently.
30 love.
Lexington on the big screen is appreciated. Also, they announced that there are new female characters
Especially
in this upcoming
in
sequel,
animated
and I know
movies,
some furry friends
especially
are
in
excited
Disney.
to see them. To quote Paul Revere, "The horny is coming. The horny is coming." Oh, I'm sure, I'm sure in 2025 for both Zootopia 2 and The Bad Guys 2, you're gonna see a lot of NSFW artists. Like, they got their pens ready. It was like, hold on, we got a trailer. We got a trailer. Ready in the boards. And
You gotta
go.
prep up those muscles.
You know, they're gonna be prepped up for that. But
Yeah, prep up
yes,
those finger
once
muscles
again, if you are
when
all
the movie
excited
comes
for
out.
Bad Guys 2, then keep in mind that it will be coming out on August 1st of next year. All right, so now we're gonna go into one more break,
ways than one.
and when we do come back, we got another DreamWorks project that's gonna be coming soon in 2025, but not on the big screen. This is something that you will be experiencing. So stay tuned for this epic finale.
Okay, what do we have?
And now, folks. Oh, son of a fish.
The thing doesn't work?
Crap. Great, now my soundboard is out. I gotta go and fix that. Yeah, when my computer, like, bugged out and, like...
Ah, great, the soundboard doesn't work. Damn. Bro, my rarest achievement is in the playroom. Damn. I mean, I'm pretty sure that most people, they have like the first trophy, but they can't get the rest because you need the PlayStation camera for it. Yeah, probably. I think that's what it is. I think that's like a trophy for like starting like getting into the app or the game or whatever. But then you need you need the accessory to continue with the game. So I guess there's that. Do you have the PlayStation camera? Or can you just use like any other camera to play the game?
I had to go and change everything. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, like even the soundboard needs something to go and fix up. So,
Okay.
yeah. Oh my God, this stupid.
I mean, can you just can't you just use like
maybe it was the update
any
that my
other
computer
camera?
had. It's just, oh my God, it's like, why is it giving, you know, like.
Or this has to be like a PlayStation 1 for a PlayStation camera for it to work.
Player 1 to serve.
I use it during a call. Oh, okay, I see. Okay, it must be the PS camera. Okay, I see. Okay. Guess that's one way of using it. Then that and neither the connector. Yeah, that's another way of using that giant paperweight.
Like, why did you give me an update that gives me more problems than something that makes it more efficient on the software? But anyways, folks, yes, we have the grand finale. And for this finale,
Yeah, that's probably another thing that I'm gonna have to look into when I get the new PC. I'm gonna have to also get a new
very
webcam.
significant update in terms of the
Because me using my laptop already has a built-in camera, so I've been using that for a good while now. So I'm probably gonna have to get one of those Logitech ones, probably.
Universe. So you guys all recall about Universal Orlando revealed that they are going to have their big third theme park called Epic Universe, in which it will be this entire unique land that will be divided into 4 different worlds.
Where that PlayStation is the only one that
including
you need
How to Train
one
Your
specific
Dragon,
camera.
Super Nintendo World, another Harry Potter area, and the Dark Universe. Well, very recently, Universal has actually revealed a whole bunch of brand new information in terms of one of these worlds.
I mean, I think if you're not really into like getting the best quality from your webcams, I think you can probably just use the PS camera or the one for Xbox. Yeah, I think that could work. You don't really give a shit about quality, but I do kinda. I kind of need quality for the face tracking, so I'm gonna have to get one of those for me at least.
And oh boy, already just from the concept art,
there's no port for the Kinect. I must use XS.
Beautiful. So let's go and
the
talk
Kinect is
about
really only for the 360.
upcoming world from Epic Universe, How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk. Yes,
Oh,
Universal
it's
has
a theme
officially,
park.
well,
Okay.
like I said before, Universal Studios has officially revealed that for one of the worlds of Epic Universe, they presented the details
Microsoft will
of
like to
what's going to be in
connect dead.
store for the How to Train Your
I
Dragon
mean,
section called
that
How
thing
to Train
even
Your
lasts
Dragon
more than 2
Isle
years.
of Berk. And not
Yeah, that
only
thing
have
barely
they
had
revealed
any actual
an
good
entire
games on it.
set of
Because the fucking thing
concept art
didn't, most of the time,
and
didn't
images
fucking
of
work.
like what's going to be happening in there, but they've also revealed all the different attractions that will be in store. And once
That
again,
thing
I
was
got
only
my
good
source
for
here
like
from Deadline,
Just
revealing
Dance
the
like
entire
games.
list
That was really
of
it.
what's going to be within
And
the
that and also Connect had like one of the worst fucking games ever. Like Sonic Free Riders and Steel Battalion. Like those games, they can either they don't work or they barely work.
Isle of Berk.
At least with
And the
Free Riders,
attractions that
you
they
can
have
actually
include
emulate the game with an actual controller and play it that way. So at least the Free Riders isn't like locked into the Connect anymore.
Hiccup's Wing Gliders,
Although
a
I'm pretty
family
sure,
thrill
although Steel
coaster
Battalion has
wherein
no
Hiccup
has no
invites
help.
brave new
That's a
Vikings to
fucking
take a ride on his
that's a
latest
dead
glider
that's a dead
contraption,
corpse that's been
a
run
winged
for way
flying
too long.
machine that launches aspiring dragon riders into the sky for a dragon's eye view of Berk. Guests will fly alongside Hiccup and Toothless and reach speeds up to 45 miles an hour as they soar around the perimeter of Berk and even through a lagoon, while experiencing firsthand what it's like to fly a dragon. Then another thing they got
I mean, didn't
is
they
going to
already
be
kind of do
called
that
the
with
Untrainable Dragon,
the original
which is
How
based
to Train
on
How
which
to
it
Train
says
Your
here,
Dragon
actually,
with the 3D
inspired
stuff?
by Universal Beijing
You know,
Resort's
I'm pretty
popular
sure
Untrainable
most people
show.
don't really give a shit
This
about 3D,
dragon-filled live
especially
spectacular
nowadays.
takes guests on a journey with Hiccup, Toothless, Gobber, and Astrid as they work together to solve the mystery of the untrainable dragon. The story includes musical numbers, purpose-built sets, and life-size dragons soaring overhead. And this is actually one that you can actually get a preview of what it is. Like, you go on YouTube, you can look up Untrainable in Universal Beijing, and they will show you the show. And they will even show you the parts where Hiccup actually, he hops on Toothless, and they fly, like, over the audience. So they would go and, like, make that truly spectacular and even immersive to the point where it's, like, almost interactive even. Then, anyways, going back over here, another ride they got is called Fire Drill. Mischievous Vikings, Viking twins, Rough Nut and Tough Nut, invite teams of Vikings to compete to outscore and outsoak each other in this wet and wild boat battle. Guests will board on a colorful dragon-headed boat and blast water cannons and flame-like targets to practice putting out fires, a crucial skill to master when living with dragons. Then afterwards, they got, this is going to be one of their bigger
there was another fire drill at
Dragon
your school.
Racers Rally.
Another one?
Berk's new Viking racers can practice aerobatic maneuvers and high-speed barrel rolls on 2 Viking-made dragon riding
how often does
trainers
your
that
school
reach
actually
heights of
catches
up to
on fire?
67 feet in
For
the
that
air.
thing, for fire
Guests
drills to
can
be so
control how
somewhat
wild
consistent.
or mild their experience will be as they perform their high-flying, gravity-defying, swooping and soaring maneuvers that are necessary to earn the accolades of becoming a champion dragon racer. Then following that, there is the Viking Training Camp. Junior Vikings can learn about dragons as they climb, slide, and explore their way through
how
the
often does the school actually catches fire, or fire drills be so happening so often?
Baby Grunkle dragon climbers,
Probably not
and
that
more.
often. Probably
And
never.
finally, there is also a section where you can actually go and meet Hiccup and Toothless. Guests can visit the Haddock Paddock for a meet and greet experience with heroic dragon rider Hiccup and pose for a photo with his friendly Night Fury Toothless.
I imagine.
And throughout the day, guests may also encounter other familiar Vikings and dragons while exploring Berk. And on top of that, not only do we have like all this description that we got, but even a whole lot of pictures of what will be in store. In fact, on this article here from allears.net, not only do they have photos of what is in store, like what they presented in the concept art, but a lot of aerial view shots in terms of what is the current progress in terms of the construction of Isle of Burke. So just go a little bit down here, and they even and even Universal did put out a video that previews what Isle of Burke is going to look like. But anyways, so as you probably have seen before, this is going to
I don't
be
think
the
we
big
even have
entrance
like
with one of the big spires
Universal
that will
Studios?
transport you into that world.
Yeah, I don't think we even have stuff like that. We
Here's what
have
it looks like
a
in real
Disneyland
life
Paris.
so
That's
far.
about
So
it.
you got the main entrance right over here, and then of course you got the two statues of Burke that you would see in the movie. So you do have that. But then here's the concept art.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only way you're gonna
specifically this one is
see these are
Hiccup's
probably
Wing
just in
Glider,
America
or is that
or
what
in
it's called?
Japan,
Just want to go
maybe.
and just want to double check. Yeah, it's yeah. So this is the concept for Hiccup's Wing Gliders, and like you go through the lagoon right over here, and like even a little shot where people can go and check it out. And here's the construction. Here you got here's what they're building so far, and here you got the tracks of where you're going to traverse in Hiccup's Wing Glider. Then you got this one right over here. This is a concept art of Fire Drill, where you see the guests, they're on a boat and they're just squirting out water to go and hit the targets. I don't know if there's going to be like a score system. I don't know if it's going to be something that is similar to, what was it? That it would be similar to like Buzz Lightyear's Space Ranger Spin, where they're going to go and keep score, and then like you'll tally up the ranks, and you'll see like, oh, you're like a super
prize or
Viking,
some
or
shit
you're
at the
still
end.
like a rookie or something like that. Maybe they'll have that. And oh, here we have an aerial view of what is in store for Dragon's Racer Rally. So here we got a good look of the seats of the vehicles that you're going to be in. And here is what it looks like, this crazy ride. Like, not only is it going to like really spin you around, but
There was one in August, another one I think around September, November, two in February, one in April. Yeah, they're pretty. You have to do fire those pretty often. Like here we barely get any. Like I think I can only remember maybe one. Yeah, I think I probably can remember only once or twice where you had to do like fire drills in my entire like school life.
But you also got control if you want to spin around extra. So this is going to
Maybe
be
in America
something
they
that,
happen
I
they
think
happen
it's one of
more
those
often
that
than here in Europe.
You should not have a meal before jumping onto this attraction. I'm just saying. Then of course you do got the concept of the show, the Untrainable Dragon,
once a month.
In which you do see a bunch of other dragons.
Yeah, here we
that will
barely
show
get
up.
anything.
Like, you know, like you got Toothless, you got some of the others, like you got
It
Dragon,
rarely
with Astrid
happens
right
here.
there. You got Hiccup's mom's dragon that is also present. So, like you'll see many of the prominent characters from the movies that they will be coming to life, and you know, and like you will see some flying dragons on board. And then, of course, apparently this is the area where you will see this is where they're going to go and build the theater for the Untrainable Dragon. And then and then right over here, you got the Viking training camp, which is basically a full-on play area. That is just going to be like a full-on jungle gym, a playground for kids to go and run around, like disperse some of their energy. And then there's also a restaurant. Now, I forgot to go and mention this, but this is apparently the restaurant in How to Train Your Dragon called
around the room,
Hall, which is going to be a very massive area in which you will go and have some Viking-themed foods while surrounded by the massive decor that they'll have all around, like this big Burke-inspired area. And, of course, once again, you got the... a good aerial shot of these two, of the big two Burke statues. And
Hi there,
I
King.
believe that is
Doing
all.
good?
Oh yeah, well, okay. They do
Yeah,
have
they're
some other
doing more,
pictures, like
Virtua Tennis here.
they're showing us. I believe this is the popcorn bucket of Toothless with
That's a
abnormally
popcorn bucket?
gigantic
The
eyes,
shit?
like almost out of character giant eyes. And yeah, apparently this is.
I mean, that's a popcorn bucket. Alright. In middle school, when I was in 6th grade, there was one where we on the second day of school. Like, damn. Yeah, they really want you to get prepared for any fire when it happens. It's not if it happens, it's when it happens.
This is all the photos that they are showing so far, but
Then a week or so
holy
later, there was
crap.
another one.
Like, just looking at everything that they are
Yeah, again,
offering.
here we barely get any fucking fire drills. I can only remember like one or two in my entire fucking school life.
In the Isle of Berk. Like, this might as well be just an entire theme park in itself. Like, if Universal would just announce that, yeah, this is gonna be their third, yeah, this is gonna be the third gate. It's just all How to Train Your Dragon stuff, and it's just all that. Like, honestly, I would be sold. Like, already this thing looks massively incredible.
Drop
And
and
even
drop
the
and give me your
rides
money.
that they are bringing up, like,
Drop
honestly,
and
they
take my
sound
money.
very solid.
Yeah,
like,
really
some of my
that.
personal favorites that I feel like I'm anticipated for, I would say, like, the one that I'm the most excited to go and check out myself would be Hiccup's Wing Gliders and the Untrainable Dragon show. Like, I would be down to see, like, how, you know, like, it's one thing to go and watch it on YouTube with the Beijing version, but I want to see how it is, like, I want to see how it is, like, to see it with my own eyes. Like, I would be so down for that. And I know maybe some, like, I know a lot of people will probably be excited also for Dragon's Racers Rally, but one thing I will confess is that I'm not really a big fan of, like, major roller coasters. Like, I could do some. Like, even last year's trip to Disney World, like, I've enjoyed a lot of the coasters that I was actually in. Like, I enjoyed Big Thunder.
Yeah, probably. Even if I did go into amusement park with like a giant ass roller coaster, which I never did, by the way. I never have, by the way. But if I did, I'd probably just stay the fuck away from those things, because I do not go well with heights.
The Guardians of the Galaxy ride, like, that one was really awesome
I
too.
am way too fucking scared of heights
and
that
yeah,
shit.
I also did Space Mountain. Like, that one might be like maybe one step too intense for me, but still though, like, I am training myself to get into more to more rides and a bit more intense rides. But I'm not like a full-on thrill junkie where, like, I'm just gonna go on to the next big crazy roller coaster and just ride that. Oh, oh my god, how?
Yeah, definitely no. I feel you. I'm like that sometimes, depending on how high it is. I mean, I can probably do like the kiddie stuff, like it's barely going off the ground. But if it's like the bigger ones, then not for me.
About Tron. Oh my god, yes, of course. Tron, oh my god, that Tron light cycle run, like, easily one of the best new rides at Disney World. Like, that was,
yeah, probably my favorite thing
fantastic.
to
That
always
was an amazing ride.
to do in like fairs and shit is just like bumper cars. I used to always do that shit in fairs. Either there or carousels.
Honestly, I would even say my favorite new ride at Disney World. It is that phenomenal. But yeah, anyways, all this to say that I understand why a lot of people are going to be excited for Dragon's Racers Rally. Maybe I'm not one of them. I'm not
just
into
fucking
those rides,
go into
especially
everyone.
like those big arms that, like, you know, that they go like
fucking bump into
360 and like they bring you on board and like you got extra spinnies inside. Like, that thing is just a little, yeah, that thing might be a little bit much. But no, still though, I will say, even in terms of the construction that they have on board, even the stuff that,
though.
like, what's currently being built so far, it looks like we're
almost at 200.
What we see
we need 250.
from the concept art, it will be easily brought to life here. And
I'm done with my 250 wins. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have to like help him out. Help him out get his wins as well, because I'm pretty sure
what can you do to bring How to Train Your Dragon
I
to
already
a
had
theme
like a
park?
couple
I think
more
this is
wins
the best
compared to
answer.
him.
Like, yeah, it's one thing to go and make a How to Train Your Dragon ride, but to make a whole How to Train Your Dragon land, especially with how big the whole franchise has become, I think honestly that would make perfect sense. And yeah, just seeing everything that is being built, the way that they're staying true to their promise, and especially with the quality that Universal Orlando is often known for. Like, when they can make a good ride, they can make an amazing ride. I know they got a lot of duds, especially the infamous Fast and Furious ride, but Now, when they're good, they're amazing, and I
Fast
think
and
what they've
Furious one.
recently done with
Was it just a shitty ass bumper
what
car?
they've done with Super Nintendo World in Hollywood and in Japan, I think that really does speak for
The fire drill today, the gym teacher spilled the beans on us.
itself. So honestly, with all that,
Like what?
I am
Like
definitely
he just
excited.
immediately told you that it was a fire drill?
Excited to see what they have in store. A lot of these are very again, it's very promising with what they're showing both in the concept art and in terms of the construction with what they have in store with all the attractions that they have. I could just imagine how the immersiveness is going to be fantastic. So yeah, honestly, I don't know what else to say, but I'm absolutely excited for this.
It was like, I know we're planning on going around the road, but there's a fire drill, so after that... Okay. I mean, running for your life in a fire drill can probably also work as exercise, so... I mean, there's that. You know, I also like tell no one. I mean... Don't like with fire drills, they just immediately tell you that it's a fire drill. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how they work, right? And the second the bells go off, they immediately tell you that it's a fire drill.
I don't think they've confirmed
Yeah, probably assume that.
when this is going to be opening. They did state that it's gonna be for 2025 that they're gonna go and fully open up Epic Universe, but like we know that with 1 by 1 they will be revealing what's going to be in store for some of them. And so far, we know about their main hub with Celestial Park, and now we know a lot about the Isle of Berk, and now we just need to know what's going to be in store with the other Harry Potter world and with Dark Universe. I mean, maybe they'll talk. Eventually, they'll bring up Super Nintendo World. But then again, I mean, like what we got in Hollywood and in Tokyo, it's going to be the same thing with what they're going to do in Orlando. I don't know if there's going to be that much of a difference, unless they would go and specify some new exclusive things, but we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, overall, I'm definitely hyped up for this. All right, so with that said, I would like to go into the chat wall, and I want to ask you all,
because,
what do
I'm
you
not in America.
all think about what we have seen with the current construction
I
and with the concept art of How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk? Are you excited to go and check out what is going to be in store with these attractions?
So,
Let me know what you
that
all
too.
think on this. All right, so let's see. So far with the stuff they revealed for Isle of Berk, they seem extremely promising.
Sometimes
it really
you get
does
told
feel like
before it
people will
goes
be
off.
able to step
I mean,
into
that's
the
probably
world
like
of Berk.
normal
And,
behavior.
this really feels
You
like
just tell you
taste
that
of what is to come
it's a
for the rest
drill.
of the Epic Universe. And I think Disney was going to have to pull out all the stops at D23 this year. Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, with what Disney, honestly, compared to how Disney has been doing, or at least in terms of like what they are offering in terms of their theme parks, yeah, so far Universal, like, I hate to say it, but Universal is definitely kicking Disney's ass in terms of the theme park stuff. Like, no joke. Like, on the day of when Universal revealed all these things about what is to come with How to Train Your Dragon, Isle of Berk, Disney decided to step in and
Isn't
like,
Universal
we got
also
some
in charge of like
too. We got a new bus. Do you want to see the new bus?
Isn't also into like the Nintendo Land in Japan or some shit?
He's got the orange bird. Who wants to ride the bus? Yeah, so yeah, honestly, yeah, I think really with what's going on with Epic Universe, Disney needs to have a phenomenal presentation at D23 for what lies in store at Walt Disney World specifically, because yeah, they might have a very rough year in 2025 if Disney doesn't really have anything.
And they also had a pretty rough year in
release,
2023.
while Universal is going to go and open up Epic Universe, and a lot of that traffic for theme park fans is going to go to them. So yeah, I think this is going to be a wake-up call for Disney to go and really step up their game. Like, whatever they better have something prepared to go and counter Epic Universe. Okay, let's see what else we got. This looks interesting so far when it comes to How to Train Your Dragon section of Epic Universe. This may be one of the fun rides that I would definitely want to go to aside from Super Nintendo World and Dark Universe, so I can't wait to see more info soon. Also, who's ready for April to see the faith of what's gonna happen to Warner Brothers Discovery?
Wait, Warner Brothers Discovery? Weird. My counselor always tells me when a fire drill happens, I'm easily sensitive to very loud noises. I mean, is that really a thing with autism? Maybe like a different spectrum, maybe. Maybe like certain spectrums that are like very sensitive to
Warner Brothers
the noises,
Discovery
maybe.
today when the Department of Justice probe was announced for the antitrust law, so I'm curious to know what's next for WBD. Okay, I'm sorry, what? Okay, so this sounds like a bit of a scandal going on, so... Oh my god, so Warner Brothers... You're telling me Warner Brothers Oh, and by the way, I just want to quickly say, so since tomorrow is your birthday, happy birthday, TK. Okay, but anyways...
But also, what the fuck?
Are you sure this is not a joke? Are you sure, like... You're telling me that apparently board members from Warner Brothers, they're bailing out, they're running away because the Warner Brothers is the Department of Justice is looking into some antitrust stuff. Oh boy,
It's real? Oh god.
Wow. Yeah, I think it's safe to say Warner Brothers is in trouble.
No. More than usual, I guess.
I think that resignation from those board members is a little bit of an admission right there. Oh,
Resignation of
this is
board
like a
members.
little bonus story that we just got for this episode.
Now that's something.
So yeah, oh my god. Actually, we do have a link, so we're just gonna go. I just want to go and quickly check this out. Let's just go and put this up right over here. Let's just go and
here, might as well just also check the stats.
Quickly see right over here. Just want to go and have a quick mention. Yeah, so this article, this is from CNBC. 2 Warner Brothers Discovery directors resign after antitrust probe.
Yeah, 197. Okay.
Oh my god. So specifically,
Only
Stephen
like
Mirren
53 more.
Stephen Mirren and Stephen Newhouse resign from the Warner Brothers Discovery board
Antitrust
effective immediately. Oh my god. So apparently the investigation is into whether the pair violated an antitrust clause that prohibits directors from serving simultaneously on the boards of competitors. Okay, yeah, this is... Oh my god, yeah.
It's a common
This is going to be a very interesting month for Warner Brothers. Oh boy.
And this was 3 months, and this was 3 weeks ago. Like, goddamn.
We're starting this month on a pretty wild note, I gotta say.
Now that's some hot news
okay.
right here.
But anyways, does anybody else have any comments in terms of the Isle of Berk story? Does anybody have anything else to say? Because I know that we don't have any other comments. Let's see. Okay, we do have one. Even more hyped up for Universal Epic Universe at Orlando. Aside from Super Nintendo World, this new Dragon area is a breathtaking real-life version of Berk. I predicted the How to Train Your Dragon coaster a decade ago. All right, so I believe with all that said and done, that should go and do it for this episode of Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast. Again, I am sorry for the delay that we have beforehand on the live Twitch
Technical
version.
difficulties always happen.
I'll be sure that my computer will be fully ready for the next episode. And
yeah, I really have no idea why sometimes Twitch's chat is a fucking work.
Then don't forget to go and subscribe to the
it works just fine on my phone sometimes.
The Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast YouTube
channel. When that shit happens, it works just fine on my phone for some reason.
Rather it be on Spotify,
I have no idea.
Amazon,
It just completely disconnects from my PC
much dropping out,
or just from OBS.
At least you got the other options. But with that said and done, I would like to say.
All right, I think it's about time that we go back to good old ordinary podcast with Nux and Muda Heart. Okay, yeah, let me just do this. Yeah, I think I already spent enough time with Matt for now. Let's see. Ooh, here we go. Right here. Ooh, you already have a brand new one. Okay. Before you switch to next podcast, I have another video. Okay, shoot. Keep in mind, I'm gonna be using the small screen for it.
If there is a solid object near you, I recommend you.
Dude, there's jumping jacks? Didn't I already see this one? Maybe not. Let's see what we have here.
If there is a solid object near you, I recommend you grab onto it right now. I encourage you to go to your parents' bedroom and be like, hey, I need y'all to grab onto something. Do like the tornado drill.
Maybe
where you
gonna do
lay
a
in the
fucking...
bathtub and put
It
your
won't make it
mattress
look
over
like
your
an
body.
earthquake or
I'm
some
praying
shit.
For everyone, we got this. I'm dead already. My family's gonna die. All right, 3 of them things. Here we go.
Brace for impact. Oh boy. Brace! Brace! Yeah, it's like the fucking...
Atlantis has resurfaced. Atlantis has resurfaced.
Atlantis?
What do you mean, buddy? California just floated away. 1,000 people dead in New York. My legs are broken. And my mom just typed in the chat and said my glasses fell off my face. Yo, ban my mom.
Yo, ban your
My mom
mom.
fell out of her casket. Yo, I'm pretty sure you're canceled for that. My character got knocked in Fortnite. Dude, hey!
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yo.
My character dropped in Fortnite. Okay, that's a good one.
Love 30.
Right. That was actually a good one. Alright. A new one that came out like a week ago. These game companies are ruining the industry.
Love 40.
Yeah, let's see what we have here.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar, and welcome to another episode of the Some Ordinary Podcast. I got my co-host Nux. Oompa should be joining us in a little bit. Candy companies definitely take precedence. Managing businesses is difficult, so give them a little bit of time.
Yeah, Oompaville's running late due to Iran.
Iran? No, I thought he ran.
We've got our amazing guest.
Iran.
We've got our
What do you mean
amazing
I ran?
guest,
Sorry,
Ross
he
here,
ran.
First Farms. How's it going, man?
Busy.
So, Ross, you want to tell us why you've decided to make your life busier? By the way, it's not. Let us know. Just give us a primer.
Sure. The summary is, I enjoy video.
Okay, so PlayStation message. Type 1 if Wendy's mid. Okay, so if you're type 1, you will be banned from the stream. I mean, we don't even have Wendy's in here. I don't think so.
Games
I think Wendy's more of an
and
American
certain
thing.
practices by publishers destroy video games forever, and that's always bothered the hell out of me. And now I feel like I have the first opportunity ever.
Oh, I know this guy. Yeah. I think this is the guy that created the whole stop killing games thing. Yeah, I think that's the guy. Yeah, recently Ubisoft has removed one of the games, The Crew. I think you already heard of this. And because of that, this guy made like a website where you could just contact your local authorities so they can look into like the make sure that people don't lose their fucking games because servers go down or whatever.
To really do something about it and try to kind of change the timeline we're on here.
So I want to start off by saying, like, I really love that message because every time I talk about it, I come across like an unhinged, conspiracy-ridden nut job. You know, like, so I'm one of those guys
Twitter?
where I always buy physical copies of like every game, right? Like, and I go out to because in my opinion, when I go to a game store and I spend $60 or whatever the price tag is, I want to be able to own it, right? So I don't even like buying games on Steam that much because it's you don't really own a digital product, right? Like you own a license.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that's why I always
that's a
prefer
good
getting
distinction
the
because
games physically because
I
that
think-
way you can
okay,
actually
not
own
to
the fucking
throw
games.
shade or anything, but I think you're thinking in the old ways. I mean, the game I'm trying to do this on came out on physical disc. The disc doesn't really matter so much as
Yeah, because you need
what's stopping you
either a
from running
download
it.
or
Like,
the game's
you
always
mentioned
online.
Steam or something like GOG. If you download that, then like a GOG game, if you download that, you can copy it to a USB, burn your own disc. That's it. It's safe. It's not going anywhere. But that's considered just a digital purchase. So it's about, are you stopped from running the game? Like that's the big thing.
Yeah, well, I guess to like kind of build on that, it's like, so recently there was this game called Star Wars. Like we all know what was the second one? It wasn't Jedi Fallen Order. It was like Jedi Survivor. So one of the things is
Jedi,
like I would have bought that on
Star
disc,
Wars
but you need to, like,
Outlaws?
download
Yes,
and install
I think
the
that's
disc
what it's
anyway. So
called.
what I'm kind of like talking about is like when I buy them, it's like I can not connect to the internet and play the game as it like initially released, right? But
I think Outlaws needs like an initial download for you to play the game. Huh?
Ross, you made a video on this. Actually, a few other YouTubers made a video.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that even nowadays, even like if you get the games physically on PS4 or PS5, they do require a download to even play them. Yeah, I think so. That kind of fucking sucks though, but that's the thing nowadays. Everything needs to be fucking online. Huh? I remember that time he was opening fan mail and he got a maid outfit. I doubt the fucking thing even fit on him. Most likely.
Actually made one like
yeah, I doubt the guy that sent the thing got a size right.
Effectively, what's been going on is there's a game known as The Crew, right? The Crew.
Yeah, there we go. The Crew.
Ubisoft's open world MMO racing game. And when I use the term MMO, I mean it in the sense that it's like the modern MMO where like you basically pair up with your friends and you drive around an open world. It's not like the days of World of Warcraft, right? Where like you go into like the capital city and there's like 6,000 dudes connected to a fucking session and like, you know, there's an entire free market economy. This is a MMO kind of light thing. So Ubisoft, after 9 years of getting this game operational, taking our money, by the way,
yeah, came on in like
paid for this game. It's
2015.
you can install it to a system. It's now offline. Like, it's gone completely. Ubisoft has taken it away. They didn't even patch the game to let people who bought this initially play it offline. It's not only gone.
Yeah, because it's always online.
Meaning not on disc.
Like the same thing that happened with Need for Speed 2015, and that game is always online as well. At least the servers are still up for that game, but yeah, it's just an inevitability that thing's also gonna go off. Okay. You know, also not be able to fucking play that game eventually.
And buy the next game, which coincidentally could have the same fucking thing happen to it, right? Like, who's to say you buy?
Yeah, I have no idea why they keep putting these fucking online only shit.
That's unprecedented setting. Of course, that's exactly what they want. They want you to buy a game that you'll feel like, oh, I'm going to buy this game and it will be mine. When in actuality, you are buying a subscription service that will be gone.
Only lasts you until the license expires.
Well, the thing is with a service, it's not even that, because with a service, they tell you how long it lasts. You know, you're talking about World of Warcraft, fine, you pay for 30 days, or you pay for your year, or something.
Yeah.
That's clear. We don't even have that. I mean, you know, so...
Well, you go to the store.
Yeah, World of Warcraft, you always have to pay a monthly fee.
You, hey, this game's gonna be alive for like 10 fucking years.
I'm pretty sure it's like always with MMOs, you always have to pay a monthly fee to play them.
The box, like in the little tiny left-hand blurb. Well, you're right. In this situation, the Crew doesn't really have that. Nor
no, it does. Well, actually, if you want to be pedantic about it, it does say internet required on the box. Well, guess what? Everybody still has internet.
It's not like you think that internet required would mean if you have internet, you can play the game, right? Like
yeah,
that's
in every
what you think.
circumstance, as long as you can. Yeah.
I make a comparison to something like, it's an old game, Star Siege Tribes, where that game is 100% multiplayer. Like, you go in, there's no bots or anything. All you have is an empty map if you try to run that. So you kind of need a connection, I guess, either local or internet to play it. But you can still run that now.
Yeah, you can still play the game just fine. You just have like an empty map, but you can still kind of play the game.
MMO, I'm not sure the number. I think you can only have up to 7 or 8 other racers where you are at the same time, and it's instanced. So you can never have like hundreds of cars all there at the same time. It would just get divvied up.
Yeah,
so
okay, so it's just like any other fucking racing game, especially like recent Need for Speed games, where you can only have a certain amount of people on screen.
Yeah, It'd be awesome if you could have like an entire car meet, like a streamer can like amass 1,000
Right,
something people.
it'd be like that. It
the
just
city
ends
and
up being like the
actually
new.
race around.
It literally just becomes an
Yeah,
in-game
exactly. But you
fucking
can't even do
Cars
that with this
4 or
game. It's
whatever.
like a fucking, standard Ubisoft release. And part of me is like, listen, I if it was a game that was advertised as such, there wouldn't be any and complaining, right? But it wasn't, and that's the whole story. So now it comes your campaign, right?
Not exactly. I mean, the advertising, it's a little hazy. I guess if you went to the store page, I'm not sure if it said that there or not. I might be the radical on this. I just think this shouldn't even be on the table to begin with. That, they take your money, you pay for the game. Yes, it might be complicated how they have it set up, but, a company with millions of dollars that spent years making this can design a game with an end-of-life plan once they are done.
And also, yeah, it's
So that the
Ubisoft.
people who did buy the game have
I mean, with
some way of
Ubisoft,
playing
they've been
it.
killing off a lot of
You are
multiplayer for
paying,
some
no
games.
kidding, right? They
especially
are,
like
they are
the
required to give you the
OG
thing that you
Assassin's
paid
Creed
for,
games,
which
like
is
from
the game.
Brotherhood all the way up
That's
to
where
3.
it
The
varies
multiplayer is pretty much
country
dead.
by
You can
country,
only play
but
that.
the-
Although with
the
Black Flag, you can still play
example I bring
online
up a
just
lot
fine,
is Gran
if I
Turismo
remember
Sport
correctly.
had almost all of the game online, and then when they decided they're done supporting it, they released a patch so now you can run it without having to connect online. So they saved the.
Pretty sure
So,
just
I mean, that
because
would be
the
ideal
Black
way to
Flag
go.
is also on PS4,
just,
and that's probably
okay, keep it
where
online
most
only
people
for
play
whatever
it.
reason you want, but
And
when you're
maybe that's
done,
also because
don't destroy it
if
forever,
you get rid of the
Well,
servers on
it's one of the things
PS3,
that, like, gets
you
me a
also
little
have to
worried
get rid of
about
the
it.
ones
I'm
on
glad you mentioned Gran
PS4,
Turismo
so
because
they
I
would
remember
probably
with
didn't want to do that.
GT7, like,
I don't know.
most recent entry. I love Gran Turismo. Like, I love racing games. Okay, I really enjoy. Here's my thing about racing games: ain't no way I'm buying a Lamborghini in reality and driving it 250 kilometers down the road. Okay, or even on a track. That's too much money, and I'm not that good of a.
Too much money to waste
That's
them.
why I play simulated racing games. Gran Turismo 7, great game, purely online, right? So again, like you said, a perfect scenario would be if maybe it wasn't, it didn't even have all those server checks to begin with, right? You bought the game, shipped on a disc. If you weren't connected online, you could at least do 99% of the content. But we don't live in that world with this game. At the end of its release cycle, right? So 10 years down the road, Sony or Polyphony comes out and they patch the game out, just like what happened to that shitty Avengers game, right? Released not that long ago. They ended up.
Although I'm
patching
pretty
it so
sure
you
that
could
people can still play the
game
game just
offline.
fine, like
And
in
it's not
private
even
matches
just,
maybe.
I guess even Gran Turismo, even games like
I
Diablo
think.
4, right? Like Diablo 4, that game is great sleep medication, but if we're looking at it as a game,
Player 2.
what first off, obviously Blizzard, I don't expect them to shut the game down even after like 20 years. I mean, I think Diablo 1 servers are still
I think
somehow.
they killed Warcraft 3 server, the original, to get
Oh, yeah,
the new
they-
one in.
yeah. They killed the original. No, it was a weird thing with the original. It's like a weird connection, but you're right. Like, Blizzard, I mean, they have their bad moments, but like, they, at least from my understanding, like even D2, D1 stuff works.
Well, they
But
got
the point
bought
is-
out anyway, so that might change.
Oh yeah, Microsoft might change it out too. You never know. But,
Right, next is just there.
the whole thing is, like,
Yeah,
games
I
are
definitely
put
know
on
about
one
video
service,
games.
And you want to make sure when you spend $60 on a fucking product, you can at least goddamn own it, right? And they don't want, like, Ubisoft wouldn't want to do it, and so you've started an entire like campaign, or at least got people in to at least.
Yeah, I know Nux. He's probably
legally
just
on
like
every front, which is
barely saying
not
anything
something
because
that
he
I
barely
haven't
knows
seen.
anything
Like,
about
it's
video
not
games. He
something that
did to
like,
play
I've seen
some
people
stuff. He
talk
did
about
play
it before,
Elden Ring.
but you're
Elden Ring.
actually
But
guiding
that's about
people
it.
through the
He's always
process,
more into like
which
anime.
demystifies a whole bunch of this stuff. So how did that like kind of get started from your end? When did you like just lose it?
It was later. It took time to simmer in my head because when I first heard about the shutdown, I was so busy with other videos. I didn't have any time for this at all. So I was thinking, all right, I'll just have to figure this out later. And then later I looked at it, and then it just dawned on me. Wait a minute, Ubisoft is in France. France has a lot of consumer protection laws. Like they have laws against planned obsolescence on a lot of things. And there's actually been a case. It got shot down at the highest court, but it survived in the lower courts where Valve was being sued over in a lower court, and they had their ruling against Valve initially. So that was a really good sign. See, with all these other companies,
Right.
okay, oh yeah, I'm getting off
So
track
now
here.
it just
But,
makes it very weird how Ubisoft can get
when it
away
dawned
with
on me,
this,
I just tried
especially
to
them being
research
French.
every angle I could, and I gave shout-outs to
So, well, one
my
of their
audience,
companies
essentially
is
saying,
one of
you
their
know,
studios is in
I
France.
originally thought I was going
I
to
think
do a
Ubisoft
class
has like
action lawsuit just because I
has
was
like
just so
studios
pissed
almost
about
everywhere in the
this.
fucking world.
And then I got a lot
But
of
they-
feedback from
but they
people
originated
because
from
I
France.
couldn't research all these different countries in different languages, like what their consumer policies are. But more and more people kept emailing me. I'd reply, say, "Well, here, check this. Can you do this?" Went down dozens of dead ends, but I finally found a few that, like, oh wow, anyone can act on this, or anyone in this country can act on this, and oh wow, this has some teeth, because, like, you know, with loot boxes, Belgium banned loot boxes. I've heard that's been kind of weakened since then, but I mean, to me, that's
a
proof
big
that
deal.
you can get something done through this route. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Loot boxes are like what? Like one of the biggest money makers for a lot of
I don't
the
think
live service
I
stuff
think
out there.
I don't think it was just Belgium. I think it was like another country as well that also banned loot boxes. I just don't remember which one it was.
So that's a pretty big win. But
I think it
so
was like
when I was looking at
another
your site, right, and
Eastern
I went
Europe
through all the
country.
processes for
Yeah,
Canada,
something. Yeah,
part of it
around
was
there.
like, you know, you actually, what's up, Caleb? This is our
Yo,
co-host as well.
I just joined in a little late.
Oh, there we go. There's
Sorry, I was on
Oompa.
Another podcast. Hello, Ross. Welcome to the Somewhere Nerd podcast. Sorry, guys.
It's all
Yeah,
good.
no problem. What were you on?
Yeah, probably
The
the new
official
studio,
podcast.
whatever.
Oh
Hey.
shit! Wait,
Yeah.
we can kind of hear you on an echo.
Oh.
But yeah, no. To come back to it, when I was looking through,
Yeah,
your
I think he's
website,
in the
right,
middle of
your
like
entire
moving out.
process, the entire understanding. By the way, the audio is perfect, Caleb. When I was looking through it, following the process for Canada was like simple enough, and I'm so glad you didn't decide to go like class action lawsuit on this shit. Just because like I feel like everybody tries saying it, but it usually ends up getting thrown out, or it becomes such a long, convoluted process that nothing ends up being done. So it's
Well-
kind of great that you're doing it more strategically.
Oh yeah, that's well, it'd be unaffordable.
I mean, someone has to
in
do
most
it.
places for me to even consider or even fundraise for. However, Brazil may happen. The laws are different there. Like the government can partially
Fun fact: I once went to Universal Studios. Really? How was it?
fund.
Do you actually have
some sort
fun
of
with
stuff to help consumers.
Were there like
So,
any like big rides
That's
going
within,
on?
Like fundraising reach, but that's still up in the air. It's still. May or
Did
may
you
not
actually
happen in Brazil.
encounter
That's
that
the other one.
that
So,
Fast and
the
Furious
fact
ride
it's
that
kinda moving in certain
that
places
Matt
and you kinda
mentioned
got the
before?
gears kinda turning. When are you going to be afraid when like Ubisoft sends out the fucking hit squad after you? Because
Well, I'm not. I mean, these are game companies. These
Yeah.
look. If I was exposing war crimes or messing with defense contractors of stuff, yeah, okay, I would have to.
But these
be
are
in a cabin out in the
Australian
woods
gamers,
somewhere.
not Viltrumite
The
aliens.
Viltrumites. It's pretty cool. I didn't do the Fast and Furious ride. Okay.
Might.
yeah,
I think
they're also French, so you don't have to worry too
That's
much.
kinda
They're
good,
friends with
because-
white-
Let's say I have
With rides, I only
heard
do the ones that I can see in
Apparently
Walk of
the
Fairs.
official-
That's pretty much
the
it.
Crew Reddit, the moderators are just deleting every mention of this that they find. Apparently, it goes up and then it's down within.
Yeah,
20,
I mean
30 minutes.
That's the meta.
that's always just like Reddit in general.
180.
It's like, Reddit is like the
180
worst platform
wins.
When it comes to like having any form
Only
of argument. So Caleb,
70 more.
If you don't know, Ross Curse Farms has been running a campaign against
Okay.
Ubisoft for live
Hmm.
service
Baller.
shitty games. So you know how game companies release like these fucking experiences, like these games that you buy, and then they get rid of the servers
Yeah.
after like 9 years, and then the game
Yeah.
is fucking useless. Yeah, he's starting a
Right.
campaign against Ubisoft, and it actually has some real teeth in it. And so far, I saw you tweet about like Australia, like some actual shit going down over there, or like you getting like lawyers sort of set up,
Yeah.
or at least like a legal case. So how's that going?
With Australia, we're doing two things. One, well, actually, we're doing this in a few other countries. Though this is the part I've just fallen on my face on with government petitions. So for some countries, there's just no options, but you can actually petition the government directly, submit a proposal. If you get enough signatures, they have to respond.
Right, I think he mentioned
If you get
this
some- if
before. You
get
can
higher
actually do that
thresholds,
in the website that he
seriously
created.
consider for
Where you
the state
just
or something.
contact that.
may
you can
may
just
go nowhere, but
contact
then we'll
them.
be eliminating dead ends because a lot of this, the laws just aren't settled on this at all. Like we call offices, they don't even know. Like one even said there is no clear legal regulation on this because it kind of exists in like a gray zone of the law.
Yeah.
But the other thing in Australia is we're contacting.
Me and my mom were on a road trip on one summer. I was 13 during turning 14. Went to California and some other stops along the way, including Chicago, and I went to Galapagos. Galapagos? Even is that? Is it like a ride in Chicago?
We're doing that with a lot of individual ones, but somebody reached out to me and said that, you know, they may not pay as much attention to this, even a lot of people on the same issue, as they would from an actual law firm contacting them on the same thing.
It's an arcade.
And I've had luck reaching out to one where, yeah, for an affordable amount, we can pay them to essentially get their attention on this. And
what, they have like Mortal Kombat 2 or whatever? Or Street Fighter 2?
Australia or something, where they said that
like some like old school arcade games
to go after the games industry, except they were going to be focused more on stuff like loot boxes, targeting gambling to kids, that sort of thing. But I'm thinking, man, if we can just piggyback this issue onto it, it just lines right up perfectly with what they're already doing. So,
no, I think owning. I mean,
there's some old school ones including Punch Out and the original. The original Mario Bros. Okay. There was Mega Man 1 as well. Okay, cool. I don't think we ever had like any like arcade games around here in Portugal. Maybe it's just because I was like, that wasn't just I was probably a little too young for that. Yeah, I think arcades were already going out in like the early 2000s, so I probably didn't encounter in any of them. Okay, maybe I did encounter one, but that's about it. It didn't like have like the arcade games that you can think of, like Street Fighter 2 or whatever. It's like the more generic ones.
I mean, at the end of the day, it all comes down to like owning your shit, right? Like people who buy like fucking movies, like they get to own their movies basically forever, right?
It didn't need like Warzone. One night it was like $20 for a whole day. God damn. Okay, at least you could pretty much play anything. Yeah, actually, that's kind of cool though. I think I actually remember seeing like one photo of this one time when I was like very little. This was just like a random photo that I just stumbled onto. This was like a cabinet with two. It was just like a racing game with like 2-player. It was just a big fucking cabinet with 2 seats in like a 2-player racing game. I think it was like something like Ridge Racer or something. Maybe. Yeah, I think it looked like Ridge Racer. If that was even a thing on arcade.
Right, like preserving a fucking movie or a song
or something similar to Ridge Racer.
Video game or a piece of software, you know, like I know.
Yeah, that was like way back when. I don't even remember that shit. I just remember. I just saw a photo of it when I was like very little.
Subscription model. Yeah. When you used to just be able to buy the version you needed, and you could use
like Ridge Racer. You know, Ridge Racer. Remember that one? We had the fucking the E3 meme. The Ridge Racer. Remember that one?
It's like, and it's not just the crew. It's like there's plenty
of Ridge Racer. Remember that one?
Shit, even with like the Google Stadia stuff, when you bought like some of their stuff behind a service or like a subscription model, it's like preserving a video game has become so difficult these days because you got so many different aspects of DRM. You got so many fucking different launchers and stuff. It's like if I'm paying
just look it up. I can tell that's a PlayStation game. Yeah. I think it was just like something similar to that, but on an arcade. It was just a big cabinet with 2 seats where two people can just play it with an actual wheel and shit.
$80 for a piece.
I think that's where it was.
I expect to at least be able to.
It was just something similar to that.
For sure.
And I kind of hate the fact that in a lot of the general public, it's almost normalized where like, this is just how it is going forward. Like when I was on the Reddit board for the crew, the saddest, and I want to say the most shit I've ever read was like, it's okay, I'm already playing the next game anyways. Like, dude, it's not even about that. It's like just fucking preserving or like owning. Yeah. It's like, okay, imagine if Fallout 76 was the greatest game ever made, right? Like, and recently Fallout's been like,
I can probably picture that, but whatever.
I don't know if you guys have watched it.
Didn't get there yet.
dude, it's brilliant. Like, I've seen people about that show, and I'm like, listen, after riding off of the Halo television show, this is like a night and day difference.
Anything can be better
Brilliant
than the
show.
fucking Halo
So I've
show.
been playing a lot of Fallout stuff, and here's the thing: you can buy every Fallout game.
I wasn't able to try them all at Galloping Ghost because there are so many. I think I spent the most time at Punch Out. I mean, if I'd be there, I'll also be playing the more well-known
And
ones,
it's not revoked,
like
right?
Pac-Man
You can buy
or
all of them except 76.
or
76
Miss
is an
Pac-Man
online
if they even
only
have
game.
that,
Now,
or
10
Punch
years
Out.
from now, once 76 goes off of the servers and they take that shit away,
Yeah, probably just end up spinning like
what's going to happen?
the ones
Are we
that
gonna
most
have
people
access to
know,
it? Are we gonna lose
like
it
actually
forever? Is it gonna be
playing
something where, like,
the one
you
on
know,
an
you want to play
arcade.
something from your past, but now it's all gone. What's the future of it, right? I mean, there are games that I dig out from like 20 years ago, right? I played that shit
Hubert
on the
was
Steam
also
Deck, and I'm like,
doing
yeah,
that?
I'm
Okay,
glad
yeah.
I can experience it. But you know, if you're looking at the
You
state
mentioned
of gaming
you
these
mentioned
days,
that, but I'm pretty sure we already did something. I already did something similar to Qbert. Like, do you remember that one level in Trap Team, in where you steal the rocket, and then you have to like climb this like this hill that's literally just Qbert. Yeah, I think that's where it is. Yeah, it's literally just Qbert. In the middle of the level, you have to do like a whole fucking Qbert level, where you have to jump on the squares.
shit, you buy something for like 80, 90 bucks, there's a good chance that a decade later you lose that whole purchase and you lose that experience and you lose the ability to like experience that again. And it's a
Yeah, not
shame that some
that
people are
level.
actually willing to accept that kind
Ghosts
of
and
stuff.
Goblins, ooh, that's a really hard one though.
So I think that it is a normalization process that people are trying to do, right? Like the idea is,
Yeah.
well, you see, if people aren't really playing
If you make this normal, then people aren't gonna be bitching about it as often as they are now.
the online game,
Yeah, something like that, I guess. There are like so many different rooms, like, holy shit, I should have took pictures.
costing us a
Maybe.
lot to keep the game running, then it only makes sense to get the game to stop running. But that's really not the point. The point is I'm paying you $60 or whatever. Fallout
To play
76
it,
was
and now I
$60
can't.
when it came out, right? I'm paying you $60 for Fallout 76. Now the condition is that this game needs to be in condition to play forever because I'm buying it. I'm not renting
Yeah, I'm
it.
spending my money on
This
it.
isn't the loan. This is not leasing Fallout 76.
Unless like on the store, unless you have like a fucking, unless it's like you do something interesting where like you go to the online stores and you change the word purchase with rent. That would be really
Like in
that
game,
would actually
like in
mentally with people a lot more, right?
GameStop?
Like, I
See,
feel like
but
if you're
do
gonna
you
Or
know how
buy
many
no,
games-
people
Blockbuster,
would
yeah,
not
there we
buy
go.
it?
Yeah, something like
People wouldn't spend
Blockbuster.
that money. People know that when they say buy it, they know that it's theirs. I might not play it now. Maybe I'll only get to this game 5 years down the line. You know how many people have shit on Steam that they just haven't gotten to yet? Like that's a thing. And if you know that there is a time limit, then you know I'm not going to buy it unless I'm going to play it right now. Like it's a
well, it's kind
psychological
of like similar
warfare.
to like buying
Yeah, I have
movies
a,
on, like,
even I don't,
that's like
even when
buying
I don't
movies on,
tend
like,
to
the
play
Apple Store,
that
right?
many
Like,
PC
you go
games,
to
I
the
still
store
have
now,
a
you
couple
wanna
of them
watch, like, a
on
movie at night or something,
on Steam
you go to
right
the
now.
App Store or whatever, the Apple,
Most
like,
of them I
iTunes
haven't
store,
even
you
played
rent
them.
it, right? Like it literally says
Like at one point, the Valve or Steam actually made the original Half-Life for free, and actually managed to get it. As I'm planning on doing that at some point, the original Half-Life.
So that's like a psychological thing. If the fucking game store that if you were buying something on PlayStation and instead of purchase it said rent, imagine like I could only imagine how much like how different like the buying process would be. Like what would be like the amount of people that would actually go through with that purchase, right? If you told them this is only going to be functioning for so and so and that be it. But I guess game companies really wouldn't want that because that would their sales.
Yeah.
I would imagine pretty hard.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, that's why they don't do
For
it.
sure.
I mean, although who knows 10 years from now if they do enough gradual conditioning, maybe they get some more gamers on with it then. No, I've had the thought that like it's a good thing I can finally do this now because I think the window might be closing slowly culture-wise, where like a lot of younger gamers just don't even get it, or they don't even see how this is possible.
Right, because they didn't grow up with just owning a fucking
I mean, like, the
game
thing
and
about
just
is,
plug
is,
it
like,
into
when
the
you have
console and it
something
immediately
like
works. You
this
don't
so
have to like
ingrained,
download
right? Like, you got
anything.
people who, and I'm gonna throw sports gamers under the bus because I think they're the
On my birthday, I was in LA. My mom brought me to a place called Game Nest. It was basically like $20 an hour and $35 for the whole day. It's basically an arcade. Also had Switch, PS4, and even PC. Okay, cool. Yeah, we don't have anything like that here in Portugal. Maybe in like the big cities like Lisbon or Porto. Maybe, I don't know.
Most like degenerate.
Probably in Lisbon. Yeah, most
types out
likely.
there. Like the worst consumer you could imagine, right? Like the guy that buys like fucking NBA every year.
That's when I
like
played
roster
Fall Guys
changes
for
or
the first
something.
time.
That's the kind of person that is the most conditioned. Like Ubisoft, like I don't know if you guys caught this, but I know you did, Ross. But like Ubisoft months ago was like, people should get used to not owning their shit. I was
Yeah.
like, what
Yeah,
the
they literally fucking said that shit. People should get used to not owning their games or some dumb shit like
Bro,
that.
I'm telling you, I
Just
was
to play
looking at...
devil's
Yeah, go for it.
Go ahead.
okay, I was saying, just to play devil's advocate, because I guarantee you someone in the comments is going to say this. They're going to say, oh, they were quoted out of context. And taken
Sure.
literally, that's true, because they were saying something like, in order for us to kind of sell more subscription things, people would have to be more comfortable with that. But if you read between the lines, that no, they meant what they said, because in that same interview, they're saying
Yeah,
your games
225.
are safe. It's like, yeah, they won't go away. And they're doing this after they announced the death of the crew, that it's coming. So, yeah, they're just lying straight to your face. And so I might have saved you, like, 50 comments
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, the thing is, it's like, when you, obviously, sure, let's get all the context in right. But look, these are, like, big companies, and I kind of hate the way the world is going into the point where, like, everything we buy is part of a service, and, like, you never really actually own the final fucking product, right? And I mean, it's not even just,
Yeah.
like...
That's
games
why I
involved,
just
too.
always go for the
I follow a
older
lot,
stuff.
Like Lewis Rossman, you guys know who he
Yeah,
is,
I
right?
always
Lewis
prefer
Rossman
just
is, like,
actually
the
owning the
retro
fucking
shit.
games.
Dude, it was because
on
of
a
him that I
disc.
found out about, like, John Deere.
Because actually
People
just
that
like
this
just
company is when
no
it comes to,
physically
like,
having
owning
them
your
on the
fucking
shelves.
shit. That company will do everything imaginable to make even a fucking PDF file or the tiniest thing a chore to absolutely go through. So it's like, yeah, you know, if you right now,
Although
you're, like,
it looks like I am
moment to
running
kinda start
out
the
of fucking
situation,
space though.
And
I've been
if
getting
we
way
don't-
too many fucking
I mean, I
PS3
guess if there's
games.
not a stance made, I want to say, like, in the next decade, you're not really going to own anything.
Yeah, PS3 is
serious,
probably
right?
like the
you
one,
might
the
not even
console that I
own
like the most fucking games for.
operating system on your computer, even.
I feel
right?
like
Or,
that's a good
even
example.
the files, like, it's going to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, most like I have more PS3 games to the point where like they're taking like
Yeah, and it's like, you know, if you don't update it, then
they're taking
you
like
lose it forever.
two
Like, you know,
two
you
shelves.
constantly have to
One of
be
them
on the
is
train.
where I
Like, if you
have the
wanna use your
PS4
computer
games.
10 years down the road, you have to actually be constantly upgrading it or jump in and keep, you know, it's a fucking weird.
Your
hole to get
emails
down
no
into.
longer belong
And,
to you.
Yeah, it's, I don't know, it's kind of where the world is going. I'm looking at
Have
it.
Have
like,
they
the
ever
most doomer
have your
mentality
emails ever
possible.
belonged to you?
But
They're
yeah,
on the
I
fucking
don't
server.
Think I don't think I'm entirely
Google can
wrong
just,
in
like,
thinking
delete
that way, right?
everything.
Given
Well,
at least
no,
just one area.
In fact, I was going to say, there's two types of own. There's legally what you own, and then there's real world terms. What do you, like, own, you know?
Yeah.
Legally, you don't own any of your software, or extremely little of it. That's what I found out in my research. The court case that was...
You are going to be executed, but the judge allows you to play and complete to 100% one last game. Which game would that be? Arkham Knight. Batman Arkham Knight. Has a hump. And make sure that it has all the DLC. Yeah. That's probably like the one big game that I want. I'll just be the last thing that I'll ever do, just Arkham Knight. Because that game has a lot of fucking stuff to do. Most likely just from the DLC, but also like a shit ton of playable characters to get all the stars. Yeah, you know how long it took Arkham City? Yeah, imagine that, but like, I don't know, 4 times longer. Yeah, something like that.
responsible for this, and
That's how
basically
fucking
made me
long Arkham Knight
give up
is.
almost entirely on the United States for trying to get this done. Yeah, it's called Pro CD versus Zeidenberg, if people want to look that up. Basically, what that says...
No, probably so like maybe
there's
3
some
times longer.
nuances to
Yeah,
it,
something
but
like that.
What it says is the law is saying, you know what, we don't know how to handle this, so we're just going to go with whatever the end user license agreement says. Unless it's like a really obvious violation of law. If it's like anything less than that, yeah, we're just whatever that says when you click I accept.
Unless it says we're signing you into like abject chattel slavery, sure, then that's not getting passed.
But that's just the United States.
Yeah.
Other countries, that doesn't fly at all, except it hasn't been tested, which is what I've been all about. So.
Well, like even with like some of this stuff too, like to kind of go back to the subscription stuff, like not owning it, like even with fucking cars, we're at a point where like even basic shit is locked behind subscriptions. Like I don't know if you guys remember the whole,
actual
like,
cars
BMW
they're behind
controversy,
the.
but, like,
Yeah,
you bought heated seats in your
paying some
car,
shit, otherwise the
and
car
I shit
doesn't
you
work.
not, there was like a subscription service you had to sign up to just to use the fucking heated seats in your fucking car. You know?
Oh my god!
So we're at a point where like even if you own the fucking actual piece of hardware, you won't be able to do it. It's like imagine, and Caleb probably knows a whole lot more about this, but like even when it comes to like firearms and shit too, right? Like guns or whatever.
Even firearms,
there was,
but
like,
shit.
One, and this is a bit off topic, but like there was one thing that I saw, like a smart gun. You know, where like it calculated your fucking fingerprints and shit, and then you could fire off through it. I'm like, imagine if we get to a point where like even gun manufacturers like lock behind certain features or access behind like a fucking computer server or like a paywall or some crazy shit. You know, it's like you own the hardware.
For me, it must be Persona. If I still haven't completed one of them, but I think I am at right now is Persona 3 Reload. But yeah, I'll probably either go with for me. It'd probably go either Arkham Knight, all the DLC, or Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Yeah, I remember having a really good time with those games. Or maybe like The Witcher 3. Yeah, I remember that. I remember really liking that game as well. Even though all those games are really fucking long.
You own the actual physical product. You just don't own the fucking license and using it. So in that regard, it's like the ability to actually own something is entirely behind whatever proprietary tool or service that these fucking publishers or developers
and it, like sort of the same logic applies to a bunch of stuff that you own. If there's any sort of property taxes involved with it, like if you don't pay your property taxes, then you get whatever you own you don't get anymore. It belongs to whoever you're beholden to in terms of paying your property taxes. Like my truck in Virginia, like you can't drive if you don't pay your property taxes. They'll take away your permit to drive. So like you can't. It's the same shit.
What?
And that's
Wait.
At first, what did you think I was gonna choose? I don't know. I probably think Persona as
you
well.
have to pay personal property taxes, and not here in Texas, but in Virginia you do on cars.
That's
Really, Virginia?
fucking absurdly insane.
Yeah.
Jesus
I don't know.
Christ.
I was watching
on your house.
Yellowstone.
Why of all
like a few
places
weeks ago.
Virginia?
I watched it, and they're like talking about if you don't pay your property taxes, you lose the entire ranch. I'm like, wait a second, but it's their ranch. No sir, no sir. You think just because you own a piece of land, you own the piece of land? You fool.
You're
a
it as long as you play
custodian.
that game.
You own the IRS owns that shit.
Exactly.
Yeah, you
But
mentioned
go ahead.
you mentioned cars. One lawyer I talked to showed me an article where the music artist Deadmau5 bought a Ferrari, and he wanted to spray paint a big Nyan cat on the side of it. But Ferrari got wind of that, and they threatened to sue him over that because they didn't like what he was doing to the image. And they consulted his lawyers, and they said, yeah, you better just get rid of the car because, you know, you're going to lose this. So he did, and he got, I think, a Lamborghini, and they were cool with him painting it whatever he wanted.
Wait,
And it's
what?
same
Yeah.
with Bugattis as well,
My
right?
car.
Like
I can do it. Huh?
It's my car. I can do whatever the fuck I want with
same
it.
shit happens with Bugattis.
Wait,
Like you have
what?
to do there's like, yeah, it's weird. There's a lot of weird shit like that.
Wait, what? So that means like if you buy the
Who
vehicle
gives a
direct
shit about what a
from,
car
like,
looks like?
Bugatti, then you're talking about the and it's like a special. I know exactly. It's like the legal work you
Yeah.
have to sign with specific brands. Like I know if you buy like the Tesla Cybertruck shit, they make you sign a waiver or like a clause where you can't sell
Right.
the vehicle. And I
What?
assume the same thing goes with like in big brands like
For sure.
Ferrari,
What the fuck do you do when you just want to get rid of it?
This is like purely if you
You
bought the
just
car from the
ship it
manufacturer.
back
You
to
didn't
where it
buy
was
from
from, where it was
party.
made. What the
'Cause
fuck?
if you bought it like used or something, then there's no legal binding to prevent you from putting Neon Cat or whatever the f- you wanted on the car, right?
Unless
Like,
they own
Huh?
it still, right?
Wait, if I buy
That
a
would be
second-hand
weird.
car, I can't put a neon cat on it. Like,
No. I assume Deadmau5 is rich enough to have bought the vehicle
Yeah,
from Ferrari.
but
right?
let's say he
didn't, like,
buys a
buy it
secondhand one.
offhand.
Could they still sue you because it's their image that you're tarnishing?
Good question.
I can't imagine that would be the case because you didn't sign anything with Ferrari. I should be able to buy. If
Bro,
I wanted
even
to buy
cars
a
are fucking walk
Ferrari
behind this
secondhand
shit.
on the
The
market
fuck?
and put like eye all over it, right? My issue is between me and the government of Canada fucking getting mad that I'm driving that on the road, not between me and fucking Ferrari. That is absurd. That's a fucking legal clause where you don't even own the vehicle. You just own the ability to drive and park it in your garage, but you don't have the fucking freedom to do what you want. This is the wildest thing about the United States, right?
Where
Like,
is
it's
it
a country
going
that
at? Why am
banks
I not
itself
being able
on
to
so
fucking
much
connect
freedom,
them?
right?
Yeah.
The fact that laws can exist that are designed to prevent you from properly owning your shit is insane. I didn't even know that about the Ferrari. I could kind of expect it with the
Ferrari's
Bugatti.
not an American company.
Bugatti.
Well, yeah, that's true. But wait, hold on, wait. I got you right there. Neither is fucking Ford, and even Ford prevents you from doing shit with their GTs and stuff.
I thought Ford wasn't. Yeah, Ford is American.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Ford
It's
is
just
as
the
American
GT,
as
right?
apple pie.
Yeah, it's always just a big
the,
fucking
I think
names.
the GTs, it's like a very.
I'm pretty sure
long-
Corso,
You can't just go like buy
Opel,
one. Like, you have
or
to be
Corso
accepted.
wouldn't give a shit,
Yeah, you have to be
about
part
what
of,
I
like,
do
a
with
class,
my
and then
fucking
you
car.
probably sign a bunch of paperwork that says you can't do anything funny and wild
So there's
with
nothing insane.
You can't defend Ford, bro. Listen,
I'm just kidding.
I love Ford. Like, I own a Ford, but Jesus Christ, after hearing that about the fucking Ferrari, Ross, it's like,
What is going on with the
Look
fucking...
it up. Don't take
This
my
thing
word
not
for it.
connecting
It's
immediately.
not even-
no, I looked at it. It's fucked up with Deadmau5 right now. I'm looking. It's like the guy. Like, it's insane that like you can work hard to buy something like that, and they.
And you don't actually own
That
it.
is insanity. But I mean, it comes down to like the whole thing, right? Like, look, I think you don't have to be like a fucking video gamer to at least agree that owning your shit is important. You know, like it just comes down to anything, right? Like, even if it like this could also be like applied even to like your business too, Caleb, right? Or like to any of our businesses, right? Like the stuff that we buy. You want to make sure that you own the actual product, right? You own the actual
Right,
means
makes
of
sense.
production, right? Like, imagine if the fucking central component to your business, Caleb, was still owned by the manufacturer that produced the proprietary product that is used to make the candy at Sour Boys, right? Like, it's like,
Right.
do you even fucking then own your own company? Do you even own the ability to
No.
produce shit?
But what's
No.
so crazy about
I mean,
it?
you see it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, as we're moving into like a technological age, I feel like so many assets that you're buying are not owned by you. Okay, like my VTuber avatar. Okay, I bought.
I definitely want to check out Super Nintendo World. I mean... Wait, what, the theme park? I think that's really only in Japan. So, yeah, I don't think we're gonna find any in America. I think it's really only in Japan.
Bought it. I paid for it. It's mine. However, whoever made it has those files, right? They could boot up as Nux if they ever wanted to, right? Like,
Well, there's also the whole idea of like who owns.
It's
the
at
copyright,
Universal
who
when I
owns
was
the
there. It wasn't
proprietary
there.
stuff, too.
yeah. So owning the copyright becomes
Yeah.
important now too, but copyright's a whole other issue.
Right.
I have
What were
51
you saying, Caleb,
copyright
with the-
claims on my channel.
Yeah, that shit again.
I was gonna say.
Oh, that's just like reacting to
a lot of
Adventure
time you'll
Time
see it in
episodes.
just in a very dramatized way. What you're talking about.
heard
with,
that
like,
there's
if you
gonna
don't
be
own your
one
product,
for
like if
that.
you have someone else make your product, do you even own your product? Like who owns it? Like what is going on here?
Yeah.
On Shark Tank, most of the companies that use a co-manufacturer or there isn't like a very specific laid out contract, the product that is being sold to the sharks in that situation is valueless because it's just like a label. Like you can't really, labels aren't worth anything. Formulas are worth things. Equipment to make that formula, that's what's worth money. The
Okay,
people
so yeah, the
that are
formula so you
making
can
it,
actually
that's
just
what's
make
worth
your
money.
own
So there's, like, this
version of
huge
it, I guess.
Sort of balancing act when you're trying to make a valuable product. Like how what percentage from the perspective of like the person selling it, the more of the thing you're selling to someone you own, the
He's
better.
probably AFK again.
And I would assume that maybe like what percent what percent of these games does Ubisoft own? Like, do they own all of it, or these companies that are like what does that look like? How is the ownership set up there? From the actual sales side, behind the scenes.
Oh, you mean with let's see, the developer was Ivory Tower. I guess I haven't even checked if they're owned by Ubisoft or not. I imagine
Ivory
they have
Tower.
rights to almost everything. I mean, developers under big publishers are not known for having lots of leeway. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I guess
But
also comes
it
down to,
would
like,
be
the
very
server
different if it
distribution
was
too,
like
right? Like, if it was an
developed
online-only game,
in-house
so it
by
comes down to, like,
Ubisoft.
who's, like, their server
No,
partner,
I think
right?
it was just like a
Because I assume
publishing
it's not
thing.
Ubisoft that's running the servers. It's obviously through like Microsoft or Amazon, as they do with most of their like big games, right? Like I know for Rainbow Six Siege, it's always done through Microsoft's like Azure system. So I assume there's like different agreements and partnerships with all these companies on who's running and which aspect of the game that they're running too, right? Like client distribution, server side, and whatnot.
Yeah, that's a good point. I forgot about it. It probably does. Well, this is a whole separate issue. I'm not even trying to tackle this one. Where it probably does have a lot of like. It probably is true that they can't sell this game any longer without
he's
having
definitely
to
AFK.
negotiate a bunch of things, because it does have car licenses and those are known to expire. It does have, custom copyright music or, from various artists in there, and that
Don't even
might have
fucking
expired.
mention that.
But
Yeah,
I've
I
never
only
known
now
a
that I
game
finally
like
got rid of all
that
the fucking
to
copyright
not
from
let
my
the people who bought a
my
copy
random
continue playing it.
GTA 4
Like, usually they delist
session
it
just because
okay,
of
we
all
can't
the
sell anymore
music that I was
because
using
these
it.
agreements.
Yeah, only now that
People
it's
who
finally
bought a
fucking gone
copy,
of
they can play
copyright.
it
I
indefinitely.
literally had to pretty much mute
Yeah.
the entire fucking
Well,
thing.
Yes.
it's like the Forza games too, right? Like I own this copy of I have this disc of Forza Horizon 2. You can't buy this anymore, and it goes back to the car licenses, right? Like obviously when you have Lambos, Toyotas, everything, these games only last for like 2-3 years before they renegotiating those licenses becomes a chore. And same with like music, right? Like you buy a Grand Theft Auto game today, to guarantee you the fucking soundtrack is a lot different than it was a decade ago because
Right, because of
artists
the
re-sign,
licenses.
people
There's
don't
probably
wanna
going to be
re-sign
some music,
sometimes, right?
some
Like,
songs that aren't
there's
going
an
to show
entire
up.
fucking game from the Grand Theft Auto franchise that won't be re-released because Phil Collins is like an absolute nightmare to work with. So yeah, that's a whole situation obviously that comes around right there. But I guess to really go into it is like you've made a good point. You've raised some good awareness about a serious situation where, yeah, the stuff that you buy is slowly dwindling. But like going in next,
that
it's
can
like
actually
you're
be-
obviously targeting this.
You know what? That's actually like one of the big reasons why Konami hasn't like re-released the MGS4, because in that game there's like an in-game iPod where you can play some licensed music, and I'm pretty sure the reason why they haven't released that game is because they don't want to repurchase the fucking license for those songs anymore. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Although they are gonna be doing the Master Collection Volume 2, so they're probably gonna end up doing something with that. We'll see when it
This
finally
in a very
releases.
tactical way, where you're going after laws that exist, consumer protection laws in multiple countries. So I guess the question is, it's like next steps from now. What do you see, like this whole campaign you're doing, and how do you see it like affecting other like aspects, right? Like we brought up cars, we brought up multiple different things. I
Yeah,
could
now
see something
what
like
else?
this
Microwaves,
spilling over to, like,
fridges.
other,
I mean, fridges are already like
If
connected to the
possible,
fucking.
but since
Some fridges
this
are already
is
connected
such
to
an
the fucking
uphill
internet.
battle, I'm trying to keep it contained as much as I can. However, once it gets into the hands of government officials, I have no part of it. So I'm just trying to get it to the eyes of people who can do something about it. No, I mean, it might embolden other people for another product, like you said, mentioned with Louis Rossman and the farmers, or I mean with John Deere, that sort of thing, in other countries, because hey, these are people growing our food. Do we really want to screw them over? Or with cars, maybe there's some, wealthy car owner who gets pissed about these rules, sees some lawyer says, hey, they had success here with video games, maybe we can do something similar, and then they follow that path. So no, I'm fully prepared mentally that we may hit what I'm calling the Illuminati option, which
The
we
Illuminati
just get blocked
option.
at every level in an almost comical way, because no, you're messing with the formula. We can't have this, even though this is just video games.
Yeah. Well, even with like other stuff too, it's like I kind of hate, like, again, to go back to the whole like subscription model, because I really think it's a system designed to lock you into stuff. Like Tesla has this, like, I don't know if you noticed recently, but like they
there we go.
opened up their full
Thought he was
self-driving
AFK
shit
for a
like
bit, and
every
I
car.
just
You know, like,
we
hey,
came back the
99
second
bucks a month,
I
you
said
get
that.
access to like their fucking software. But that's a weird thing to me, because it's like, so you bought a car with all the hardware and the capabilities to run it, and like the software is present. You just need like a fucking license perpetually to like be able to use stuff that's on there. And I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, even if you buy it outright, like the license, the amount of laws that, or like the amount of internal shit in the car, like you can't even transfer the licenses easily anymore, right? Like between any car, not that you could, from my understanding, but it's just one of those things where it's like you bought a fucking piece of software, you bought access, and in that case, it's even worse than this game, because the full self-driving stuff, that's like $13,000 you're fucking spending on like actual software. Then if you can't like transfer or do anything with that, it's like, bro, like,
What?
we live in
Why
fucking
just swam-
clown world in that situation.
He just slammed
right?
his fucking arm on the
It's
table.
dystopian for sure.
Yes, what I can do.
It's who knows where it goes. That's
I can do that shit as
what
well.
animates me so much. You know, the consumer rights element of it. That's just a lucky coincidence.
I
for me.
appreciate the mic
I'm just
getting
doing
that.
it because it just bothers me seeing, you know, great. Some of them were great games or pretty amazing that people have spent years working on. You know, millions of dollars gone into. Yeah, let's just destroy it over the absolute most petty reasons possible, when this is all preventable. You know.
Well, I mean, what's funny about this, like the crew situation, is like Ubisoft.
I
they're not
mean,
a small
it's
company,
Ubisoft.
right? Like
They haven't been
billions
doing
of
so good
euros.
recently,
How hard
especially
would
what
it be
happened
to,
with
like,
Sea of
fucking
Thieves.
offline patch and make some fucking goodwill. At this point, it just seems like a fucking you for the sake of a fuck
It very
you.
well could be, because there's evidence to suggest they already coded in offline mode. Like if you, I think you mentioned in one of your videos that if you open up the EXE, you can see references to an offline mode in there.
Yeah.
So it's, I'm not saying this with certainty, but it's possible that at the company, maybe someone literally just has to change a 0 to a 1 and roll out that patch, and that would fix it. So in this case, it's particularly
Egregious.
caustic,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, it's it is a wild fucking world to get down into, but I really do appreciate that you're raising awareness, and I'm glad that there's other creators too. I know that topics like this for some people can be dry, but sometimes for people it can also be like confusing, and I feel like there's weird propaganda that's designed to like confuse the average person. Like when I talk about discs and everything, there are still people that think you buy a disc, the game isn't even on there, when in 99% of the case it is. I really am somebody that's for like full ownership, and I think everyone in this call really is. It's just a confusing minefield of a topic to jump into, so it's always fun to see other people jump in.
I mean, this
of
has to have some stuff in there.
Topic.
Although sometimes he still needs like the patch. And I think that's like the only thing that really needs just a patch. And the disc has most of the game installed onto it. It's just like where you need just to get the day one patch or whatever.
I don't know. It's a lot more. It's more of the idea behind it. If you buy something, then it's not yours.
Why are you watching this podcast if you feel that way? You know?
No, but like
No,
in the grand scheme of
yeah.
things, how many people really care about what's the game you're talking about again? That game that's
The Crew. Well,
The Crew.
actually, a
how many
fair
people
number,
really
but
like?
it wouldn't matter.
See, but
I would do
that's
this
the point.
for any
It doesn't
game.
matter. The point is, it doesn't matter.
It's the principle.
It's the principle.
Yeah, it's,
See, you know that he's not much of a
It's
gamer
made
because
for
he doesn't even
more than
remember
that,
the fucking
because-
game's name.
Okay, fine. Let's say you don't care about this game at all. I can get that. You don't like driving games. I would be doing this for any game, because there's going to be some game you care about. You've given it long enough time that, I mean, they're all shifting towards this, or a lot of companies are shifting towards this. I mean, I think, well, it's not even about Ubisoft, but I'm focusing on them a lot because they're a
The
means to
idea
an
of it is the
because this
most
could be
important,
Electronic Arts or Activision
Yeah,
Blizzard
or any other
Bethesda,
company that wants to
or
get rid of
whoever,
fucking
I think they're
an
trying to
online
move,
service.
Assassin's Creed to online only. I think I heard the Total War series is trying to go to online only.
Wait, what? No, how the fuck are you gonna shift Total War, dude?
I'm
Total War, come
double check
on.
me on that. I might be mixing things up, but I'm pretty sure I read that. So I mean, this is like a nightmare for me, because I just see this as, you know, okay, we're just gonna see more and more games just being shoveled into a landfill that you can experience for a temporary time, and that just for people who like to go back to old stuff sometimes. You know, that's how
like
many
like what I
movies have you
do.
watched older than 10 years before you
Oh,
saw
I watched
them, you know?
Heat last
Any?
night.
Lots.
Or
Fucking
music.
watched-
I just,
yeah.
dude, I played Morrowind last week.
Yeah.
Wait, what? You were rocking Morrowind?
Morrowind, ooh.
Hell yeah, brother.
What's up? What's up, fellas?
Now imagine if Morrowind was locked behind the online, then you
I
could
wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if Todd Howard retroactively ruined Morrowind.
Don't give
be
Todd
honest.
Well,
any
he wouldn't even have
ideas.
the power to. He could only ruin a re-release. You know?
Yeah, there you go.
So I mean,
I
Don't
know,
give
I
them
still
any
like
ideas.
The Bethesda response. You remember the bag controversy where they with Fallout 76, if you order like this this extra deluxe package, you get
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
a canvas
you
bag,
get
and people would
yeah,
get like
bags
these
just end up
incredibly
getting a fucking
shitty
trash
bags, and
bag.
everyone would complain. And Bethesda sends out an email saying, "We are sorry you weren't happy with the bag. The bag shown in the media was a prototype, and it was too expensive to make. We aren't doing anything about it."
Dude,
Like,
you
that's
know
their
the
response.
fucking wild part is too. It's like
They got
it's
away
like
with it.
You think
Yeah,
on
they
the
got away with
surface
it.
Would be, on
I
the
mean, aren't
surface,
they
it's like,
still
it's
in
not
like
legal,
a
right?
lawsuit because of that?
Most gamers are not fucking Elon Musk, right? Like if you were, bro, if I was
I'm pretty
Elon
sure
Musk and Bethesda said
I'm pretty
that
sure they're
shit to me,
still on a
I'd be
lawsuit
in a
because of
fucking
that shit.
courtroom the next day suing
Maybe.
Bethesda
I haven't really heard
ZeniMax
anything
with
from
my
it.
own personal war chest, you know?
I mean,
But, like,
lawsuits
most
tend
people
to
don't do
take
that,
a
so it's
real
like,
long
they kind
time,
of-
so I don't
It's kind of
know.
like the YouTube situation too. Like if you're a larger creator and like you can just ape somebody's fucking content, and
Dude.
like even if you like break the copyright rules,
You're so
right?
right.
You can ape that, and it's not like the smaller creator has the funds to go up against the bigger creator in a fucking court.
And it's-
so you just get to perpetually break the rules.
It's
Go ahead.
twofold. On the one hand, there's the plagiarism aspect, right? Some little YouTuber
Hmm.
with 14 subs makes a 4-hour-long video essay on Nikocado Avocado's foot fungus, and I could just download the transcript and reread it and just upload it as my own content. And I don't even need to credit that guy. And I got my own free video, and what's he gonna do about it? He has 14 subs. He's gonna
Oh, nothing. Oh no,
moan
they
into the
won't do
void.
anything.
Right. So like
Yeah.
you got
And-
that,
and
and, then
that's-
on the flip side, you got people
They
of
should
moderate
again.
to size like me, who's sitting behind 51 copyright claims on my second channel because Turner EST is copywriting anything that's slightly cartoon related to everyone on the platform.
Yeah, no, you're
Like, what am I
not gonna
supposed
win
to do
against
about
any of that.
I'm not gonna beat them.
It's just one of those things where you kind of just lie
You
down
just
and
have to let
almost
it
take
go.
But
But the
to
sad
just
part
Yeah,
is,
just
like,
take-
if
just
I
take-
fight it,
just take
I
the
lose,
fist up
right?
the
They
ass.
give me 51 strikes instead of claims, and my whole channel goes bye-bye,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, like, every time you're going up against the
Just
force
take
that's
the
just
fist
that
up the
big,
ass and
what are you
learn
gonna
with
I
it.
think I saw a good guide on that. It's hell, but you would have to fight them one at a time or
Yeah,
1 to
I
2
know.
at a time. So that,
I know.
but yeah, why spend
So-
weeks of your life on something that's not even your fault? That,
So
you
Ross,
know-
I was talking to someone at YouTube about that. I said, "Hey, can I just fight like one at a time?" I mean, I have 51 videos clean. So
I mean,
at that point, like, what am I gonna do?
one at a time is probably gonna
So
take
I
fucking
asked him to
forever.
Fight them one at a time. He said, "I'm just telling you, it is possible. Of course, you can fight them one at a time, but if they see that you're fighting them one at a time, they might just decide to make the other claim strikes. They probably won't, but they might.
But they
They
might.
could strike a video whenever they want." Right?
Bro,
So
that is scary. That's like
That
you're
is
basically
scary.
poking the bear.
So I
is
told-
education.
I told
Because
the
again, he has
YouTube
like
guy- I
50
told
of them.
the
If you
YouTube
just
guy, "Yo,
make
dude, listen,
out of
like,
those
what
50,
do I do
they
about
turn
this?"
into,
Like,
like,
let me explain something.
three
Okay?
out of those
And,
50,
this makes a lot of
just
sense.
3 of them
YouTube
turn into
doesn't see
strikes. His channel is
YouTubers
pretty
as
much
their
gone.
partners. YouTubers are the product. The advertisers are the partners. So like, why would they, go step on a copyright landmine by trying to help out a channel? Let me
Unless
sue
that
Turner.
channel is super large. Yeah.
Yeah, unless they're Sniper Wolf.
Yeah, unless they have like super secretive access to like something crazy in that situation. But yeah, we're at a point where like I really hope the best for your campaign. I really want you to like succeed 100% going down your route. And I really do think that the way that you're doing this, it's more unique than everybody else screaming into the void. I really definitely do
screaming on
believe you have
Twitter.
a case. And
Or
honestly, part of me just wants to
4chan,
see
or
Microsoft
Reddit.
and, like any of these big companies finally like squirm a little bit and at least open up or at least stop fisting us this hard, like this is the only way to really do it. And it's kind of a
See,
weird thing
I'm
where
not
they
the one
haven't
that
properly
pulls out the fucking
responded to you
fisting
yet, even though they're under the
analogy.
fire. But I could imagine they're delaying as long as they reasonably can until something legal is going up against them that they actually are threatened by, right? Versus just angry and people screaming to the void.
Yeah, I mean,
For now, at least.
I might not even be big enough for them to. Well, they probably have noticed it to some degree, but we've been flooding their support as part of a necessary step from it. But
Come
I
on.
doubt I'm big enough for them to care that much. Plus, this is all slow. Everything I'm doing now, it might not actually start coming home to them till months from now or half a year or something. So nothing about this is fast. Oh, and one thing to mention quick is that even if we only have one victory, say like Australia or France, that's going to be a big market. See, something we mentioned loot boxes earlier. They would fight loot boxes all the way to the end because that's just such a
because that's the
moneymaker to
thing
them.
that makes them the most money.
Existential risk. This is saying no. You need to have an end of life plan for your future games. Or once the law finally goes into effect because it wouldn't be retroactive. That does not have to be expensive, especially for a giant company. So all we need to do is make the financial pain higher than what it would cost to pay a couple developers. Okay, just patch this, have a plan to patch this up once we're done, shut it down. And then if they've already done the work for one country, they may as well roll it out globally. Then,
Or,
because it's
Ross,
already done.
They bribe you $3 million to drop this.
Well, see, I've thought about
Make
that
it
scenario in my head. What I realized is my fans, I don't really care about having lots of money so much as just financial security. So I would just say to my fans, hey, they offered me this much. Is somebody cool? Just have like a ranch or a guest house or something I could stay at if I go homeless. And I bet some people would come up and say, yeah, here you go. We live in Utah.
Yeah, here you
somewhere.
go. We could
Okay,
just
great.
sue
And then
them.
I'm set. Then I'm unbribable.
Damn, I should have gone the other way.
Well,
Instead
listen.
of they threaten you and your family. Okay, that would have been better.
No, but see, Ross is thankfully one of our guests is smart enough to know that if he was going up against Lockheed Martin, it would be a lot different.
Oh, that would be very different. I wouldn't be doing this.
You wouldn't even be
like,
alive. Probably wouldn't even still be
to be
kicking.
like a videotape delivered by a proxy. And
Yeah, you wouldn't be sitting here Breaking Bad like I live at 308 Negro Arroyo. Please send your
no,
voice.
I wouldn't.
What about Boeing? What about Boeing? You should have it Boeing.
Any defense contractor. Yeah.
Dude, have you seen what the? There's been an update to Boeing, actually, dude. I think I might want to make a follow-up video to that shit, bro.
You should, dude.
I'm flying this Friday, and I looked at my fucking aircraft on my thing, and I didn't want to tell I didn't want to tell anybody, but I'm like, I'm on a Boeing craft, boys, the same fucking one that's been in like all the news lately. So it's one of the like. My thing with flying, it's like we, one of our good friends, Charlie, he's scared of fucking flying, I think. He has a fear of it. And me, I used to actually have like a similar fear, because I have this really, there's two things that I hate worse, okay? If hell was sitting in during takeoff or landing, I couldn't do it. That is the scariest time. When a fucking plane touches the ground and you hear it bounce a little bit, a turbine.
You're fucking braced for impact.
I'm like, all right, boys. Part of me gets fucking scared because usually I'm in control of the vehicle and at least I have a big windshield in front. I'm kind of banking on the fucking captain not about to ram this thing into anybody, right? So that's like the scariest thing. And then I'm reading about these planes and shit, how like doors are fucking flying open in the middle of the flight and everything. I'm like, shit, there is no quality control. There is no like check going on.
And then there's people like your boy, Johnny Somali, who wants to get on a plane as much as possible. However, flights in Israel are currently stopped. Oh well, poor guy.
It's a situation for you.
Time for him to
Sometimes I
get
get really
butt fucked
scared,
again
like when we have
in
notes on,
the
every
Israel
week,
prison or whatever.
I keep talking to you every other week, like every week when we do this.
No, I was mentioning to this before we started the podcast. It's like Muda and Caleb, every single episode, you're all talking about you're prepared, you're ready, you have bunkers, you have your fish cans, whatever. You're ready for Armageddon, and here I am thinking, idiots, morons, what are they doing? Meanwhile, I've been sleeping in a bomb shelter the last 2 nights. But anyway.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude. No, I really fucking do hope the best in your situation. Like, that's why I always get like worried. I'm like, man, when you message me, I'm like, all right, thank God he's alive. Thank God for that.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a fucking delayed message or
Tomb Raider 2013 is finally coming to Game Pass. Ooh, okay,
something. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But
Yeah,
you know,
like I would
aside
make a
from,
delayed
like,
What a
message
coincidence,
saying,
huh?
I'm alright, don't worry.
It goes back. It goes on Game Pass when I finish it.
or something. I'm like, shit. No. But like, at least I guess to kind of end things off on a good note. Unfortunately, I'm sorry that like today's episode had to be a little bit shorter than usual. It's just time has f***ed me in this situation. But to kind of end it off on a good thing, like Fallout, guys, the TV show's god tier. I just want to like shout that out,
love it.
man.
I don't know. I heard it was good.
I love it. It's one of my favorite TV
Didn't
shows.
get there yet.
What the fuck is going on
No,
with the
it's
dog
red
in
television.
Umpaville's
Red
camera? What the
television
hell?
at the bomb shelter. God damn.
Jesus Christ. No, Ross, have you seen the Fallout TV show?
I have not, but hearing people say it's good is quite encouraging. I tend to just assume the worst on any video game adaptation.
Yes.
Until,
You watch,
until
Yes.
proven
watched too
otherwise,
many,
you know.
Always
watched too
assume
many
the worst.
Uwe Boll movies, haven't you? Right? No, this one I really like because it's like usually I have the worst experience with like anything video game related because anytime you get like the Hollywood like here's what scares me when like you look up any interview from like a showrunner. Like I remember with the Halo TV show, they're like, yeah, we're not playing the video games, and I'm like, so you're not gonna play the premium like you're not gonna
The
play
source
the
material.
like the fuck yeah, like literally it's like. What's the fucking point of it? Like, why would you make a TV show around it? And then obviously
Yeah,
the
why?
Halo
You're not even
TV
gonna
show
pay
is
attention to
really
to
good as
the
it is
source
now. Caleb, did you
material.
watch season 2?
Yeah.
No.
Is it good?
This poor guy.
What do you think?
Oh, this poor guy. I don't know.
Take a wild guess. Take a
Probably
wild
shit.
guess, Muda.
Probably shit.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say,
there we
even
go.
if you haven't played the games, you shouldn't say that in an interview. You know, like at least try to fake it for the.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
For
at
me, the
least tell
wild
people
part
something.
is
Nope.
like
You don't even care that like
you have a lot of people that make like anime adaptations, and they'll specifically say, "So I don't like the anime. Like we're doing this our way. The anime's a little problematic."
Right, the whole
and then, like, we're
Netflix
just gonna change
adaptation shit.
Like why? Why would
Yeah,
you do
thank
that?
God
If
that
you're
One Piece
adapting
didn't
this
end
thing,
up
you
being
should have at least-
like
you
I
should
don't
know
know,
what
Death
you're
Note.
adapting. Like that's the
Yeah,
floor.
thank God.
The bar is that low.
Yeah, exactly.
The bar is very
That's why
low.
we're not in Hollywood.
Yeah, right.
No, exactly. No, but like the show was good because like when I was watching the Fallout TV show, and I know Caleb can attest to it, it's like you watch the first 2 episodes and it's like you kind of notice all this like I feel like even the actors who like were on the show were like they played the video game, like they at least knew what the it was, and they knew all the little intricacies. So I'm like, it was good to see it. I saw like a lot of the online people arguing about the lore for it. I'm like, bro, Fallout lore is such a confusing pile of like constant like.
It's very confusing.
The switching.
I feel like the lore, some of the lore, I'm very well kept up on the lore, and the way that it ends, I feel like it makes sense. I feel like it all kind of makes sense. It's like if at the very least it's explainable, and we'll know more in season 2.
Right.
Okay.
Well, and
If it
honestly,
gets,
like,
it's probably gonna get a season 2,
Go
but
ahead.
it's just
From what I,
when it's gonna
sorry,
release
from
them.
what I understand, the Fallout TV show takes place after the timeline of all the games, right?
Takes place after everything. Yep.
About 20 years after New Vegas.
20 years?
I really like that,
25
honestly.
years?
I think
Fuck,
that that's
we're old.
definitely the best way to go about something like this.
No,
If you're
you're
adapting
old.
a
I
game,
never
but you
played
want to follow
Fallout
the
in New
story
Vegas.
beats, then,
Probably
then
should
build
do that at some
on
point.
the existing
Yeah, get like the games on
franchise, right? You could make
PS3.
all that shit that happened in all the different
Yeah, just
Fallout
add them-
games,
just add it to the
backstory, 'cause
fucking,
most of what goes on
backlog.
in the different
Like,
vaults
have you had a shit that
aren't
happened on
necessarily
PS3?
interconnected anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So I feel like
No,
this is
it's,
just it's a better way to enrich the world, and I think it's a really good way to not pollute
Yeah.
the well of the actual game lore that people like so much.
They didn't really. I thought they were going to retcon a lot more than they did with New Vegas, but they definitely heavily. There's. It's all spoilers, unfortunately. But have you finished it yet, Muda?
Yeah, I finished it all.
I'll take my headphones
How about the last scene
Alright, now
shot of the
listening.
last episode?
I don't want to. Yeah, I the shot of the city, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I'm excited for season 2.
I'm excited for season 2. I'm excited for where it fucking goes. Again, I just don't know. Like, it's a good show where I don't want to spoil. Like Halo, I could spoil because I want to save any poor
yeah, you
souls
can
watching
spoil Halo,
that
it's
fucking shit.
Flood sucks. Flood sucks. Flood's lame. It sucks. It's terrible. The Flood was the best part, and it still sucked.
Dude, it's such a shame how like Halo, like when you think about like how great of a lore Halo has, right? Like it's the only fucking shooter game where I've actually picked out the books and I'm like, let me read through a book. No shooter game is good enough. Not even Half-Life or any of this stuff. Where I'm like, all right, let me
never
read
read the
novel.
Fortnite novels.
I never read the Fortnite novels.
Wait,
Not even Far Cry.
I wouldn't even be surprised if Fortnite has something because there's. Look, if you're a fan
That's
of
the
a
thing,
game,
like
there's
big,
people who are fans
big
of any
series.
fucking
There's
bullshit
always
out
gonna be
there,
like
right? It is
book
what it is, but with
adaptations.
Halo, it's like,
Yeah, just look at fucking
when I saw
Assassin's
there was a
Creed.
TV show, I'm like,
Yeah,
and the
Assassin's
TV
Creed
show's
is
supposed to
really
come out for
fucking
a
bad with that
while.
shit
This is
sometimes
like
though.
before the Xbox One even dropped, right? And it's just like, dude, how do you come across? How do you guys produce something that just has like, who are you making a show for, right? At that point,
You could do so much cinematically too with like the ring world concept too. I mean, well, I mean maybe they do. I haven't seen it. But...
No, it's like when it's like okay, like if you take my dad, right? Like my dad will put on any slop that's on Amazon Prime. Like he'll be like, shit, sweet, new TV show. Let's fucking watch that.
Yeah,
Why not?
my dad
'Cause
does
my
the same
dad,
thing. He just
me,
watches
when we
anything
watch TV shows,
on
it's always usually on like a
TV.
second monitor. So my dad's like, throw
Just
that
because
on the
he's
side.
probably
Go
too
for
bored.
It. My dad wouldn't give a shit about Halo, right? Like when he sees the word Halo, it's like that's a game you guys used to play as kids. Already moved past it, you know. There was, dude, you know how much I had to pull teeth to get him to watch the fucking Gran Turismo movie with me because my dad's like, how the f do they make a video game about a car racing game? How does that work? Like, how do they do that? And I'm like, Dad, just watch it, right? It's like, because in his words, he's like, that's like making a movie on the FIFA games, and I'm like. Close enough, but you know.
Yeah, close enough. Yeah, there's barely any plot in those games.
True.
I mean, yeah, that's true, right?
Yeah, the plot in the movie is just a kid just gambling. Gambling on fucking FIFA or some shit on the mud mode.
It's like nobody who's watching like a video game, TV show, or movie, by the way, is watching it because they like most of it's already like in their head. They already come into it with like a preconceived notion. So at least make it good for the people that would tune in to watch it anyways, right?
Adapting something, it needs to be something that's good for the people that watched it before, and it also needs to be something welcoming to newcomers, right? It needs to capture the spirit of the original. If you're adapting a story, the world is already built, so any world building that you do is going to fall on deaf ears half the time, unless you're adapting something properly. I think one of the biggest travesties of recent times with adaptations was the Avatar live-action adaptation on Netflix.
the recent one.
I don't know if any of you sat through it, but I love Avatar. Like,
dude,
the cartoon.
So I never watch like anime stuff like usually. So like whenever live action stuff comes out of Netflix, bro. I'm happy for the wrong reasons. I'm happy to see the
skip.
anger, you know, like I'm happy to like.
I get it, man.
I mean, I don't blame you. Anime is not for
when
everyone,
shit
especially like the
Death Note gets
weirder
announced,
shit.
I get excited waking up because I get to read the anger, right?
Okay,
and it's like,
dude, Muda,
bro,
One Piece
it's
was
the only
great.
genre.
One Piece was great. The Netflix One Piece was actually really good, and you should give it a shot. Live action. You should try it.
You know how I knew that One Piece was great? You know how I want to know that it was actually amazing? I didn't even need anybody to tell me. Is that I didn't, like, anytime an adaptation is bad, the first thing you find on the internet is like a 300-page dissertation on how it's awful, right? So when I didn't see that for One Piece, I'm like, all right, it's probably worth watching then. When my brother's a One Piece guy, he wasn't about it. I'm like, normally he'll about the tiniest of inconsistencies, but he was okay with it. He was like, it's great, watch it. But yeah, that's kind of what it like all just boils down to.
Dude,
but,
the big finale of Avatar.
I probably need to go back into One Piece. I've been so busy with other shit that I just haven't had the time to watch the episodes.
Uninaugurated. So anyway, in the cartoon, at the end of season 1, she meets up with this old water tribe expert, and he doesn't want to teach her because she's a girl. The girls use healing water magic. The men do the fighting water magic. So he didn't want to teach her. But after he learns the error in his ways, this old master, he ends up deciding to take her on as a pupil and train her to become a waterbending master as well. Okay? In the live action, she goes to the guy, and the guy says, I'm not going to teach you because you're a woman and women can't fight, right? But then, she just masters it all on her own, with no master at all. And she goes up to the bad guy at the end of the season, and they're like, wow, you found a master. And she's like, I am my own master. And it's like, it completely annihilates the entire character of God,
But that completely
character
gets rid of the
assassination.
fucking character arc. Like, what
But
the
anyway.
fuck?
Sometimes I feel like there's people just like me working on these movies or like
That
adaptations.
completely
who just want
shot the character arc for both
characters.
characters in the foot. Like, what the shit?
You know, I thought one of the best troll jobs would be to make movie trailers for movies you know are bad, because then you can really stack the deck to make it look like I sort of felt like that with the new Matrix. When I saw that, I watched it, and then I saw the trailer afterwards. I'm like, oh, okay, so they were really.
Oh, so it's
working.
supposed to be shit, right?
Dude, the new Matrix was the greatest movie that I've ever had to see. It was the only,
Oh,
like,
so it wasn't supposed to be
okay,
shit.
I'm always
That's
like
probably what
negative
I
when
meant.
it comes to like, when me and Jen we were gonna go watch it. She was a little excited for Matrix 4, right?
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I'm like, honey,
No,
it's
no.
gonna be shit. Like I walk into it, I'm like, listen, this is like
Grayson,
walking
it's
into
probably
a
not gonna
Fast
be
and the
good.
Furious movie. Okay, I already know the story's gonna be shit. I'm just here for the fan service crap, right? I'm here for.
From my understanding, the only really
Neo
good
saying his
Matrix
one-liners,
movie was just the
Trinity
first
showing
one.
up after 10 years
The other
of
ones
not
were
working.
either confusing or just
By the end of
not,
the movie,
not
she's like,
good
"Yeah, this movie
movies.
fucking sucks," and I'm like, "Did I not like? I'm not Nostradamus. I told you it was gonna be shit. I told you from the I told you it was gonna be fucking awful."
Dude, no,
All right, like
sequel. Right, dude, just sequels, man. Sequels are so often just so clearly cash grabs on the IP, like the Megamind sequel, which was a nightmare
right.
that just happened. But like, it's
Although I do
wild.
think that
I personally subscribe
most
to
of the
conspiracy
actually
theory
good
that,
sequels,
they knew Matrix
most of
4
them
was
are
gonna
from
be
like
bad, and they made it
animated
bad on
movies.
purpose
Although there are some
as,
pretty
like,
bad
this,
ones though.
reverse psychology shit. I don't know. There was
dude,
this
of
whole
course
rabbit
they
hole.
did. What the fuck?
Most of like the big studios.
Yeah, no,
Well, think about it like this: you make something on the Matrix IP, people are gonna watch it anyways, right? So who gives a
exactly. So they made
who
it
cares
bad
about
on
making
purpose.
something good?
That's my theory.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
believe it. Not like Megamind.
They can do it and they can
Your
get away
head
with it.
cannon,
Listen,
right?
something you have to understand too about like any form of media, and this is again, it goes back, and it's a great note to end it on. Even Ross's campaign, which is ultimately a positive, right? I can guarantee you can go to Reddit right now, and Ross will attest to it too. People will remove any form of criticism on this topic about owning your stuff. There is always a sucker available for the dumbest cause imaginable.
Real.
And that's who you want to win against,
Yeah,
right? Like
there's
that's who
always
you
gonna
wanna-
be one.
Oh, no,
I guess trying
They're
to
always a
convince
fucking
that-
they don't
contrarian.
even enter into the equation. I'm just getting people to go make forms. They can badmouth this all they want. Like,
You're just like at least do the fucking awareness. At least raise it in. At least sign the paper so the government has to do something. And you guys can complain.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, but it's been good having you on, Ross. It's been good talking about this. I really feel like for the majority of people out there, trying to demystify this topic is important. And for anybody that wants to own their f***ing video games, go to
Just buy them physically.
.org
Or that.
.com.
Or that too.
But yeah, thank you all for showing up, Ross. I mean, you want to like plug anything beyond your campaign, your channel?
No, I'm laser focused. That's all it is. I don't even want to be doing this campaign. It's just
You just want to get it out.
It
It's,
would bother me
it's
more
really
if it
draining
didn't
my
in the
soul
long term.
making this campaign.
Well, so after this like campaign, what is next for you? Like, what is content plans? What do you want to get down to making?
Going back to my regular videos, and I wanted to do a 3D animated movie for a while. I want to get
shit.
back to that. That's another thing. Yeah, I don't want to be doing any of this. I kept hoping somebody else would step up on it, and I could just kind of boost them and that sort of thing. It did it, but whatever. It's on now. So
Nope.
Damn.
Yeah,
thought you
you're,
responded.
you're,
I thought you
whether you like it or
messaged,
not, you're
but no.
fucking in it, brother.
That was
You're,
something
and
else.
You're leading the charge, so we hope you the best. We hope.
But
you
if I had a better
speedy,
PC,
you know,
I could just
success
literally
on
just
this,
have the
and
fucking
honestly, we
PS.
hope
I
you
could
get
just
back to the content
use
you
like
enjoy making,
BlueStacks and have the
because I really
fucking
do think
PS
you
app
make some
on
really
my
interesting
PC.
content that
Don't
not
have
a
to
lot of
always
people
have
make. I like when individuals cover dead
I can
products.
actually see the fucking message
I
board.
guess to kind of compare your content's more like
Not just
Michael
like wait for a fucking
MJD,
notification on my
something
phone.
like that to me. You know, a little a very niche kind of content that I think
Yeah,
does really
kinda.
well in its space. But thank you for showing up, man, and you know, thank you for taking the time to come and talk with us. And you know, I'm glad we all shot the shit. But yeah,
sure, thanks
Hell
for
yeah. Nice to
telling
meet
more
you, man.
people.
yeah, nice to meet
Good
you.
luck.
And,
Don't
nice to
let
have a
this take
fucking-
over your
yeah,
life.
Yeah.
I'm through
And
the
if
Hopefully it doesn't.
I'm through the worst of it, but the longer this goes on, the less important I become to it because everything's in motion and I won't be able to stop it even if I wanted to.
It's where we. It's just a
But,
big ass
ladies and
fucking
gentlemen, this has
snowball.
been,
It
Ross
gets
from
bigger
First
and bigger.
Farmers.
At
Check
some
out
point,
Instagram.
you don't need
And, check
you
out
don't
our
need to
Instagram, check
fucking
out our
keep
next topic,
pushing it.
Check me out. And ladies and gentlemen, if you all enjoyed today's episode, smash that like button. That's the first time in this history of the podcast that I ever threw out the smash that like button. So. Hold on, man.
Smash that like button.
I actually feel so filthy.
Smash.
saying that. I wanna-
If you say,
Jab on
if you
that
say
like button.
hit the if you say hit the subscribe button and press like, YouTube now like pops. Have you seen
Yes,
that where they pop up the like button?
They do. They put like a little rainbow around the subscribe button when you say
They're
subscribe.
listening.
Yeah,
What?
it's a new thing.
fucking way.
Listening.
It's wild.
Well, it sounds like Mudahar needs to go take a shower now after saying that. So.
I honestly like after saying smash that like button, it's like I feel like I time traveled like to 2009 or 10 or something when I first started YouTube. It's f***ing insane.
Can
like,
you get
you know what? I might as
50,000
well go all
likes?
the way. What
Because
did
if
they
we
say, Caleb? Like, what do you have
do,
to say? Like
Don't
the
forget to
video and
like,
you know,
comment, and
bunch of people.
subscribe.
Go ahead, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Oh, and
for today's video.
Join the
And
wolf
make
pack.
sure to smash that. Make sure to smash that bell notification too while you're at it.
Smash bell notification. Smash bell.
just absolute smash the shit out of it.
We're out.
Yeah, you're
God
masochist.
damn.
Huh?
Dude, that's
Man, there's always a good. Those guys are always a good time. All right, let's go back to Adamat though. What else do we have?
40 love.
Right, this is a month from a month ago.
Player 1.
Shut up.
Player 2 to serve. Love 15.
All right, what do we have here?
Things are gonna get crazy.
Most everyone's mad.
Hello, hello, hello,
All right, let's see what news we have
and
from
welcome back to
a month
another
ago.
exciting episode
I mean, we're probably gonna end up
of
finding some stuff that we
Animat's
haven't
Crazy
heard
Cartoon
about.
Cast. How are you
Like
all
the same
doing,
thing happened
everyone?
with,
I hope you
the
all
previous,
had a great weekend, and
episode
I
that
can tell
we
you,
watched.
this weekend that I had was much better than the last one, because last weekend I was pretty sick. And it was one of those that it just went by so quickly where I just looked back at it and I wondered, what the fridge was that about? Because unfortunately I ended up getting sick by gastroenteritis. I don't know if you've
What?
heard of that, but if you have, then you know that it was a nasty disease. And thankfully, I did take a break last week from making an episode of Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast, and it actually really worked out well, because it was also to go and refuel my energy after having 2 episodes in 1 week with that Oscar special, and then a regular episode talking about some major animation news. So, in a way, in terms of that kind of scheduling, it did work out, and it did help my body to go and recover
Detox?
from what I went through.
Yes,
but
something like
don't
that,
you
yeah.
worry, I am now all good, and I am ready to be back to go and cover some of the latest animation news and some entertainment news that we have for this week. So,
Alright.
now that we have returned,
What do we
now
have?
that we are back, I would like to go and ask the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, are you ready for today's episode of Animat's Crazy Cartoon Cast? Let me hear it, folks. Are you ready?
15.
Let's see now.
I'm ready,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
ready.
Okay, that
Where
is
we at?
great to see.
Show me
And,
what you got.
ooh, I see that you have your birthday. Thank you. Happy birthday, Alan. All right, so with that said, I believe since the chat wall is all set, it is now time that we shall go. Oh, and thank you, KS19, for the subscription right there. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, yes. It's time to get things started. And with
thing?
our first story that we
Gimme.
have for you today, I decided to go a little bit into my acting side and talk about what's been going on with SAG-AFTRA, because there's been a little bit of an update
SAG-AFTRA?
with what's going on with them. Now, last time I have discussed about a new deal that SAG-AFTRA has done, you probably remember that I was upset. It was one of the rare moments in the podcast where
You were
I
actually
was
mad?
visibly furious about that new deal that they have made with some AI company where they would go and supply AI voices for specifically video games. And yeah, it was something that would
that or
screw
just
actors
they really
over,
have, like,
specifically voice actors.
They only take like
that
a
do
few
specialize
seconds of
in
your
video
voice and
games.
they can just
But
use
this time
AI
around,
to imitate
though,
that shit.
this is going to be a little bit different. SAG-AFTRA actually does have a new deal, and it does relate to voice actors, but this is one I would say is much better. So let's go and begin with our first story by
what we got?
discussing about the new SAG-AFTRA contract. Yes, members
95%.
of SAG-AFTRA, which is the American Acting Union, they have approved a brand new contract that is specifically for TV animation or for voice acting in animated series. And from there, the members have approved it by, give or take, 95% or over 95%. We even got the specific number here saying that it is 95.52% that the actors or the members of SAG-AFTRA, that they are actually cool with this. Now, what does this what does this contract entail? What is it that voice actors that specialize in TV animation will get? Well, according to my source here on The Wrap, it says here that not only are they going to get a 7% raise, but also, and most importantly, by the way, they are going to be getting protection against AI. And this article here does go in depth into what that means specifically, in which they stated here, according to a summary published Friday by SAG-AFTRA, the AI provisions define the term voice acting as only pertaining to human beings. While the deal doesn't forbid the use of AI to replicate human voices, the recognizability requirement that applies to performers' rights has been adjusted to account for the fact that voice actors often use voices unlike their own, the guild stated. Among those adjustments, the digital replica must be readily identifiable and attributable to the voice actor through contracts or other regular business records, and it doesn't have to sound like the actor as long as it can be shown that the digital replica was made using the voices. In addition, the independently created digital replicas,
So it just
the
saves them
replica
from,
doesn't have to
like,
sound
the
like
AI
the actor
just
if it sounds
completely
like the
taking over
character's
their
voice.
their
In
voice
addition,
or some
actors
shit
will be
by just
entitled
completely
to
getting
all
replaced by the
applicable
AI.
residuals if an actor's voice is digitally altered into another language or and exhibited. Furthermore, if an actor's only performance in an animated program is a digital replica, the residuals will be calculated based on how much the actor was paid and how much of the time the actor performed the work that was replicated. And on top of that, they have also discussed that some of the other benefits that the actors will be receiving will include streaming residuals. There's also going to be improvements
so they get
for ADR work,
get
as well
money
as getting
every time the
mandatory
game
sheet
the
music if the actor needs
the
to
show
go
or
and
the
sing.
episode
And
shows up on
finally,
streaming
the
or whatever.
recognition of Martin Luther King Jr. Day and Juneteenth as legitimate holidays. So the long story short of all this is that now voice actors, specifically for those who work on animated series, they will have a new contract that is very similar to the one that SAG-AFTRA has received, like the big one that they have gotten and that they went on a strike for months. So it's pretty much going to be a bit identical to the one that they have gotten, so that now the voice actors can also get those kinds of benefits. And one thing that is actually very helpful from what I've noticed, especially in terms of the vocabulary that they use, is specifically for voice actors who do use different voices than their own. Like, for example, we know that we have actors like J.K. Simmons, whom more or less would use his same typical voice when he would voice
Right.
a variety
Him
of
or
different
Keith
characters
David,
in
where they always use
animated
the same
shows
voice.
or in animated films. Like, take Mayor Lionheart from Zootopia, or even Ford Pines from Gravity Falls, and you'll hear that they are pretty identifiable. But then you would
Yeah.
have someone like Tom Kenny or Rob Paulson, whom they would
Or
do
John
a
DiMaggio, where
variety
sometimes
of
you can switch
voices,
his
and there are
voice.
some characters who sound way too different compared to some others. Like, you would have SpongeBob per se, who sounds completely different than even some of the characters within the show. Then from there, they can also be protected based on the new contract that they have gotten.
Depending on how much time I have left on Game Pass, after I complete Persona 3 Reload, I might have time for maybe the first Tomb Raider game. Okay. At least there's that. I mean, you could also just get the game physically on PS3. Yeah, you can also do that. Yeah, it should, the Tomb Raider, the original version on PS3 shouldn't be too expensive.
Very great. Like, you got the 7% raise, you got the improvements for ADR, for
have it on
singing
Xbox
when it comes
360.
to getting mandatory music sheets.
I mean, if you have the game
residuals as
physically, you should be able to play it on your
especially for
Xbox Series
streaming,
X
which
or S.
that can often be a major
Yeah, if you have the game physically, you should be able to play it on your Xbox Series S.
one. But the
Or
biggest,
the
of course,
the S
here
is the digital.
is the protection against
No, I think
AI.
the
Now,
X is the one that lets you
controversial
use
aspects of
discs.
SAG-AFTRA,
Right, yeah.
especially in recent years with how they've handled the strike and how they would go and handle many of the recent inventions that could more or less be a hindrance or something that would threaten the jobs of actors, is with AI, in which
You can't play it on the Xbox One and that? Really? That's odd. I thought with Xbox you can you thought the Xbox One was backwards compatible with Xbox 360 games. Or is it just Tomb Raider isn't backwards compatible? There's a certain amount of Xbox 360 games that work on it. Okay, yeah, so it's just Tomb Raider doesn't
they
work
have
for some
shown
reason.
that they're not
That's so weird, though.
opposed to the technology, but they are aware of the threats, which is why they're not like completely like against it
Why?
entirely. They're not saying like, no, it should not exist. Get that
That's
thing
so weird
away
because
from
I'm
us.
pretty
We
sure,
want to
yeah, I'm
protect
pretty sure
our
that was like
jobs and all that
a
kind of
late
stuff.
Xbox
Like, they're
360
still open
game.
to try to use
So that's
some
very
AI
weird that
to see how
they couldn't
things
just
can
like
go. But
put that
unlike
shit
the
on,
last time,
let you
unlike
play
the
on
whole video
Xbox
game
One.
deal that they have done with another AI company, with this one in particular, one thing that
It's
is
very
an
weird
improvement
because
is
again,
that
Tomb Raider came out in like
it's going to
2013,
be for
around the
sure
same
that
time
it will
that the
protect
Xbox
people
One and PS4 came
from
out. So.
it will protect them from like losing their jobs entirely to them. So there is a chance
None
that
of the
for voice
Skyrim games are
actors,
backwards
AI
compatible?
will step in probably to go and help things out with some parts of their acting or some parts of their shows. But
I mean, it does make
regardless of
sense. They
how
were
they
released on
go and use
Xbox
it,
One.
the payment
as well.
of the actors, and that's debatably one of the most important factors of all this, especially for their business, like, it will remain intact. Even in terms of having residuals, it will still
I mean, I thought
be
you could
there.
also use.
Again, it's
you could play the
basically
games
very
on the
similar
Series X,
to
maybe.
the original SAG-AFTRA contract that they fought for during the strike last
Maybe
year.
maybe it's just
for
like
the
a
factor
list that
with
only a
AI,
certain amount
if
of
they
games
would be
can work
used,
on
it
it.
would be the equivalent of having the actor come on board and actually go and do their do their regular work. So from there, they would go and
At least with the PS5,
paid back.
I'm pretty sure that most,
and,
if not all, the PS4
I do
games
see we got
work
an
on
extra
it.
subscription there.
Yeah,
Thank you,
I'm pretty
Meadow
sure.
Ralph. But yeah, so far, like, at least it's to safely assure that, you know, the actors will be well compensated,
Wait,
regardless
190
if they're gonna be
wins.
using their own actual voice
60
or
more.
with AI as well. So so again, it's kind of like
Yeah,
a bit of the
it pretty
best
much
case
takes around
scenario where
maybe an hour.
maybe
An hour.
AI
Yeah,
is
around
not
an
gonna
hour,
be
just
going
get like
away,
10
especially
wins.
in the field of voice acting, which like
That's because
still
we
nowadays
keep switching
a
around
pretty
between the
frightening
two.
prospect, and there are some elements that are a bit mysterious to it, especially when it comes to many other different fields of how AI can be used. Like, okay, we've covered some of the main basic aspects, like in regards to film and when it comes to television or streaming. But then there's also the factor of how is AI going to work out in stuff like in many of the other aspects of AI or of AI of voice acting. I mean, like, what are they gonna like? Is there something that they're gonna do in order to address in terms of commercials or in audiobooks or of e-learning? Like, there are many ways that people can have a legitimate career in terms of voice acting that doesn't have to go directly towards either video games or animation or any other forms of character voices. There
Right,
are
like
some smaller,
audiobooks
unconventional ways
not
that
safe for work stuff.
that your voice can actually be used for other people's businesses. That technically you could say that you're a voice actor and you would go and do these things.
190.
And
We're getting there.
rather if there would
That's
be
just
ways
ranked
that
match.
SAG-AFTRA will go and acknowledge that, I
At least ranked
don't
match is
know.
like
I
the
think
one
that's
that
going to be another
is
hurdle
gonna
that
take
they
the
would have
longest.
to go and step up to.
Online tour you
Because,
don't need as
again, much
many.
like with
And the same
on-camera
thing
work,
with
like there are still
with
some
friendly
questions
matches.
that need to
Although
be
friendly
answered.
friendly
Like,
matches
are
you
you going to
don't
do
you only have
something
to get
in
like
terms of
one game
of
done.
commercials? Because
One match
I
per
know,
game.
like, I actually do know some voice
And
actors.
normally you have to do
that
3, but
they
with
like,
friendly
their
you
main
can
forte
do
is
just one.
actually commercials or doing promos or doing trailers. Are they going to be protected from AI? Are you also going to go and acknowledge a contract for them? That honestly remains to be seen. And I understand it is something that can be like one small step at a time, but for television animation at the very least, I think this is actually a very honestly a pretty solid contract. Maybe not the most ideal, to which AI would like not be used whatsoever, and that the voice actors can, like, it's only going to be the voice actors who will supply their voices. And I know there might be some who would wish that would be the case, but this is still like among the better case scenarios where this is still advantageous for the actors, that they can still have their jobs. They're still like top.
I played the 2013 Tomb Raider version and completed it on my own time. Only on normal, I could definitely do a hard playthrough for streaming. Yeah, the game really isn't that hard though. I think the only really big difference is just how much health you have. Either that or just how much damage enemies do to you. But I didn't really notice that much of a big difference. So yeah, I think you can do the game just fine on hard though.
A priority
As long as you like
compared to
always
AI,
dodge
and
roll
they
and
will
shit, you should be
still have
fine.
compensation no matter how they can, no matter how their voices are going to be used, rather if it's from themselves or if it's actually from AI. And again, I do like the added vocabulary to go and acknowledge that it doesn't have to be just the natural voice of the voice actors themselves, because there are also other there are other ways that people could go and
Yeah, I really didn't notice that
their
much of a
to
big
go
difference
and use
with
their voice
difficulty.
in a
Maybe at the
completely
end, that's
different
about
way.
it.
Like if you would have an actor that would go like a
Yeah, maybe like
one great
Shantytown?
one, like I should have thought of this
Maybe.
before, like with
Yeah, I didn't really notice that much.
with
I
Eric
didn't,
like,
I
this is
didn't
something
really
would
have
protect
that
someone
hard of a
like
time
Eric
with
Bauza, who would have like
the
a
game.
wide variety of voices, and like
There's only
a
like
lot
a
of them
very
that sound
small
completely
part
different from one another, from
portions
like,
in the game,
Bugs
maybe like
Bunny or
Shantytown,
Daffy
and
Duck or
I think at
Sylvester
the end of the game as
or
well, where
many
it got a
others.
little
So,
hard, but that's about it.
Overall, I think this is a pretty solid contract.
As long as you always
personally,
just go for
actor,
headshots, you
who
should be
primarily
fine.
works as a voice actor, I'm actually pretty happy with.
And you just always
what
use
they
the
have
rifle
done
because
with it.
the rifle is
And,
always just the
we'll
best
see
gun in the
with
game.
how the future goes, and if AI could actually help things out for the actors in order to get.
The bow's pretty good as well
and
if you want to
ultimately
go
we'll
for like
just see how
stealth
it
stuff.
goes. But I just feel like, again, as an actor myself, I just need to go and express my thoughts on this entire matter, and especially after the
let's see
last
if
one,
I'm finally done
where
with fucking
I
wop shots.
ranted the crap against SAG-AFTRA. Like, it is nice to see that, like, now we could go and, like, change things up where we can have some more positive news related to the union. Alright, so with that said,
there we
I
go.
would like to
Finally
go
done
into
with
the
the wop
chat
shots.
wall, and I'd like to ask you all, What do you all think about this new contract
I already passed it,
specifically
like,
for
goddamn.
television animation? Do you guys approve of this?
Yeah,
do
yeah,
you
like,
wish
more than
there are
nothing.
some changes about it?
Okay,
I'd like
does
to
this
know
say
your thoughts on
about
this.
volley shots?
Well, if you have any thoughts on this.
yeah,
Anyways,
I don't think it
I don't
does.
have a lot to say here, but I'm glad that
Yeah, I don't think it says anything about volley shots. Oh, there we go. Points 1 on volleys. Okay, there we go. Yeah, now I need to like work on those. Although I need to do like a very specific way to do it. 175. Yep. So I have to like communicate that with him. Okay, yeah, hold on.
Player 1 to serve. 15 love. $30 love. $40 love. Game, player 1. Player 2 to
Okay,
serve.
there we go.
this contract went through. The mandatory music sheets are a nice touch, and I love how it taps into the voice actor's versatility. Also, while I'm surprised they're only going for a very little amount of AI usage, have they considered trying no AI usage?
Right, the thing with the volley
I
things
don't
is
know.
that you have to like spike the ball when you're close to the net. But the thing with the volley things is that it doesn't work when you're close to the when you're too close to the when it doesn't work when you do it immediately after a serve. I think that's what it is. So I need to like play with the ball a little bit, and then I can probably get a point with it.
No, like, I think, like, the only time when AI is not going to be used is when AI will be shown as not profitable. Like, once companies are going to be
Yeah,
at
I
the
didn't
point
even
where
notice I
they
had
feel like
already
they're
passed the
losing
fucking
money by
50
using
points
AI,
with the
I think
lob
that's going to
shots.
be the time when AI is going to be leaving entirely, or it's going to be out of the business.
The only time I remember playing it on stream was during my 1-year anniversary, when I did 2 separate streams, 6 hours
Where
each.
they can get back into just using regular
Yeah,
voice actors as
I think
usual.
I might remember you
that's going
saying
to
that
be
quite a while
at
back.
that moment. Will that actually happen? Only time will tell. But I mean, considering how recent trends with some tech can go, like with like with crypto or with NFTs and stuff like that, it's not hard to imagine that AI can be the next to have like a massive downfall. Let's see what else we have here.
I mean,
the last
AI,
SAG-AFTRA deal,
I doubt
I
that's
was
gonna
very
happen with
concerned,
AI
but with this
though.
new deal for
It's
television
just-
animation,
it's just always
this is
gonna
actually a
like
pretty solid
upgrade
deal. I
shit.
will admit, I still really don't like
There's always
the
gonna be
idea
new
of
shit with
using
AI.
Seeing these actors get a deal will help them keep their jobs is great. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, AI is not like
Let's
fucking
see what
crypto
else.
where it's just that to
While I
scam
know
people.
this isn't a be-all, end-all solution to the dangers presented by AI, this deal at least sounds potentially like a decently safe net for voice actors. Actors deserve to have their rights protected while doing what they love. Or at the very least, this is something that is meant to protect union actors. Because of AI, unfortunately, for non-union people, like this is going to be still something that will absolutely frighten them because they don't necessarily have anything to go
Yeah, there we
and
go.
protect them. Like again, they're non-union. They don't have
I think
any
that's what it
benefits
is,
or
yeah.
protection. So,
When he
yeah,
does
that's
that
why
animation, I
nowadays,
think that's
like,
what it
with
is.
the
Yeah,
presence of AI,
it counts when
it
he does
is
that
important
animation.
to go and join a union so that you can actually have that safety net.
Yeah, there we go.
It's better to have like maybe what SAG-AFTRA has. It may not be the most ideal, but it is better to have something than to have absolutely nothing. Let's see what else we have. I'm glad to hear that the voice actors right now are getting.
Although
what they
for some
needed to
reason,
continue
volley
what they
points
love to
don't
do.
have don't
Personally,
actually have
I'm
a medal.
avoiding
They're just there
AI
for a
if I
trophy.
ever want to work in the industry. Very fair. I understand. This is a oh, okay. Yeah, I'll go with these two. This is good news for voice
that's
actors
a
working on animated TV series.
I wish
They
with
should be
Smash they have
protected
to work
against
on
AI so that
those
their
as well.
voices won't
But
be
at least with those ones, I can
replaced
just
by the hands of the studios. I don't have much to say, but this is a good news
I can
overall.
also
All right,
get
I'll be
medal
honest.
those as
Last
well.
time I thought SAG-AFTRA betrayed us after they made a deal with a company to implement AI. But reading about this new deal with television animation and voice actors, I'm now like, all right, but I must trust you to see if it'll actually be good. Didn't got much to say, but I'm kind of glad that it did. It did go pretty well, and I hope it'll make the voice actors happy with their residuals and such. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's not, like, they're not getting rid of
Yeah,
AI,
he's
but
AFK.
still, this is better than
I
nothing.
think that's what it is.
All right, so
Oh,
I
maybe
know
not, no.
that some of you may not have a whole lot to say about this, but I know with the next story, oh
Nah, he's
boy,
not fucking doing
there
it.
will be a lot
not
of
serving it
comments,
back.
especially when we're going to be talking about a brand new cinematic universe that will be coming soon. So stay tuned for that.
He's not serving it again. Oof.
All right, welcome back, everyone.
He needs to
And
fucking toss it back
for
to me.
our next story that we have over here,
there we go.
like I mentioned, we have a brand new cinematic universe that's going to be coming.
Another
and
one?
I know some people may say that maybe they're getting a little bit of franchise fatigue, and maybe not necessarily a specific one, but just this current climate of cinema that is pretty much dominated with franchises, with follow-ups, sequels, spin-offs, and all that kind of stuff that's just taking over everything. And ever since Marvel just dominated movie theaters, especially during the 2010s, a lot of people want to try to recreate that success with having their own cinematic universe. And there have been a lot of them that didn't necessarily
there have been
work
some-
out that well.
But
But with
there have been
this
some
brand new
shit ones.
cinematic universe coming up, this is one that it would hope to go and captivate audiences with many recognizable characters all coming together for their for their own special brand of.
I remember when I was like 6 years old and I was like, I'm gonna make YouTube videos when I grow up. Now I'm like, I want to do Twitch streams when I grow up.
Entertainment. But with this one,
No,
however,
Twitch is
based
just
on
like
what we have witnessed with
way
the
less
first film,
just YouTube,
yeah,
but way
it's
less
pretty
effort.
poo-poo, I must say. Or should I? Well, actually,
Yeah, but
just by
I was never
saying
really
that,
into
it's
actually making
quite
money
a
from
coincidence
YouTube.
considering
I knew that
this new cinematic
this
universe
wasn't
is
for me.
actually called
YouTube wasn't
the
for me.
Pooh-niverse.
I did try a little bit, but
yes,
it was just way
do
too
you
much
all
fucking work.
remember Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey? Well, you probably have heard that pretty soon there is going to be a sequel. In fact, as I am recording
There's
this,
gonna be another fucking
this week,
Winnie
I
the
believe
Pooh
it
horror
will be
movie.
the release of the sequel, Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. Oh, but don't you worry. Apparently, there's going to be a lot more where that comes from. Not just with Winnie the Pooh, but with many other fairy tale characters.
Yeah, in my opinion, YouTube is a lot of effort for me. I did make YouTube videos, but abandoned my channel for Twitch,
That
right?
Disney
Yeah.
has touched
Yeah, I
upon,
pretty much did
and
the
I
same
do
thing
mean
for
Disney,
my other channel that
based
I
on,
used
what they have in
where I
store,
used to do
where
highlights.
they will
I pretty
eventually
much
all
abandoned
come
that shit.
together as
It's been
part
like
of this
more than a year
massive
since I fucking
cinematic
uploaded
universe
anything
called
in there.
The Poohniverse.
Now
Or
just
another
upload
way that
VODs.
they would go and say it is called the Twisted
I only did one
Childhood
full playthrough
Universe.
from start to the
And
final
you
boss.
probably have heard that from this same company that did
Yeah,
Winnie
it's
the
very
Pooh,
hard
Blood
to
and Honey,
get
Jagged
anything
Edge
going on
Productions.
YouTube when
I
you're like
believe it is
starting
Jagged
from
Edge.
scratch.
Just want to make sure that I can get that correct. Yes, it is Jagged Edge Productions, and on top of that, now they are collaborating with another
distracting.
studio called ITN Studios, and they will be developing this entire cinematic universe where it will feature more than Winnie the Pooh and the characters from the 100 Acre Woods. Now, some of the movies that I'm going to be mentioning here, they have already talked about this. This was previously announced after the success of the first Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. So in this cinematic universe, they've already mentioned that this will include the first and second Winnie the Pooh
isn't that
Blood
long
and
of a
Honey.
game.
But on top of that,
Even when
they
you're going
will
for
also
everything.
be adding in Bambi the Reckoning, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, and Pinocchio Unstrung. And chances are maybe a lot of these are going to be coming out this year. Because the big thing about it is that with this entire cinematic universe, it will all ultimately lead to a massive crossover with all the characters that they feature in there all coming together in a movie called Pooniverse Monsters Assemble, which that's going to be coming out in 2025. And not only will it be featuring characters that I have mentioned in the titles, like you would get Winnie the Pooh, you got the other 100 Acre Woods characters, and then you also got Bambi, you got Peter Pan, and you got Pinocchio, but apparently there's also going to be some others in which it states here, reading from my source on Variety, that it will have Winnie the Pooh, Bambi, Tinkerbell, Pinocchio, Peter Pan, Tigger, Piglet, the Mad Hatter, and Sleeping Beauty. Basically,
They're
all
already thinking
the
like 7 fucking movies without only having like
that
made
Disney
one.
has
Like,
touched
goddamn.
upon, and they have their own very famous versions of them, but they're also in the public domain, so anyone can go and do whatever they wish. And from there, even though we don't, just want to clarify, by the way, that even though this whole big crossover is going to be happening sometime in 2025, we don't know if that's either going to be in the beginning or the end. And from there, all the other films that are going to be coming, like we know, again, this week, there is going to be the sequel to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, but then you also have the 3 other films as well, such as Bambi the Reckoning, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare, and Pinocchio Unstrung. Like, I know I stated that, oh, you know, all of them are all going to be coming this year, but there is no actual confirmation. Maybe there will be some that will come out this year, or maybe there will be some that will also be released in 2025. But the big thing about this is that,
as long as I get
like,
the
not
thing,
only are we going to get a whole bunch of other
watch this,
horror-themed fairy tale characters, but now they're just going to be part of this massive cinematic universe, which, based on this title, you know, based on the font of this title here, obviously they're satirizing the Avengers. So that's the big thing that I just
like
want to
everyone
go
else is
and
fucking doing.
discuss about this.
I remember one time when I was waiting for Halloween, almost everyone thought I was Peter Pan. I mean, they kind of look similar.
And I just want to go and say that, to
Kind
be
of.
very honest, folks,
I think the only really
not
big
that
difference is maybe the
excited for
hat.
this. Like, I honestly look at that thing and I
And
just
maybe
feel
if you have, like,
tired,
different,
and I feel like this is
the
just
hair
gonna be
color.
cringe. For those of you who do watch my
Besides that,
videos, by
they
the way,
almost
you
look
may
the same
recall
thing.
that I think it was around Halloween time that I put out an Animat Watches where I actually watched
I think the only person that knew I was with was some guy that looked like he was in high school. He was also in.
the
Right.
first Winnie the Pooh,
it takes
Blood
one
and
link,
Honey.
no
And
another link.
honestly, I really did not like it, and I do agree with many people out there who say that it is undoubtedly one of, if not the worst movie of 2023. And it's not that I don't, you know, I don't hate, it's not that I don't, I'm tripping on my own words, I'm sorry. It's not that I hate it because, oh, they're tampering against Disney, oh, this is too violent, oh, look, they're taking this child-friendly thing and making it all nasty, oh, they shouldn't do that. No. Like, honestly, I wanted this movie to be enjoyable. Like, yeah, I knew it was going to be bad, but I wanted it to be at least, like, very campy and very fun and just be creative with, like, many silly ideas of making a horror-themed Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, have some fun with it.
But unfortunately,
It's
the
just,
reason why I think it
their
was
fun
bad
wasn't
and I
really
did
that
not
funny.
enjoy it is because
I didn't go out for Halloween 2023, 2022. I was sore.
it,
You
it
just
didn't
brought
do
up-
that.
you just
It
brought
just
the
felt
big
like
ass
a
fucking
very
keyboard.
bland, cheap horror flick that barely even did much with the whole concept of Winnie the Pooh in a horror environment. And it really feels like you just take, you take away.
Yeah, I was never really
that
into like dressing up as
theming of the
Halloween. I
AA
did
villain
it
characters,
once, and that's
all
about
you
it.
get is just the same typical
Ever
horror
since then, I've
flick
just been giving
that's
fucking
just
candy.
very lazily done on a shoestring budget.
I wish my
Almost on a
costume came with the
budget
keyblade.
of something that you would expect out of someone
I mean,
like me,
hopefully
out of like
if,
any YouTuber out there.
That would have been fire.
And so from
It would've been-
there,
it probably would have been a pain in the ass to
honestly,
always
like,
carry
yeah,
that-
I
carry the
was
thing.
very disappointed. It just,
Yeah, it kinda be
honestly,
cool,
it just
though.
felt like it sucked. But then, like, because there was so much hype going at it, like, because everybody was freaking out of this, like, oh, there's going to be this Winnie the Pooh, this Winnie the Pooh horror flick. Like, the hype alone.
If I found someone else dressed up as Sephiroth, that would have been a great match. I doubt anyone would end up dressing up as fucking Sephiroth
really
now
ranked
in
up
Halloween.
the profits on this, down to the point where not only did the people who made the film, like, they announced a sequel, of course, but then they would announce a whole bunch of other movies, and then ultimately it just led up to this, that we would get, like, an entire Disney World filled with horror, of these, like, horror versions of classic familiar characters. So, and from there, it just feels, and I don't know, like, maybe I could be wrong, but I just feel like based on my first experience and the fact that, like, now the people who made the films, like, they're really trying to desperately cash in on that massive success, it just feels so tiring. And for me, honestly, I personally feel like this entire trend of, like, these, like, of trying to make cheap horror films based on something that is, like, currently popular or currently trending, it just feels very tiring, because the whole reason why Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey even exists in the first place, it was based on the news that the first books of Winnie the Pooh was entering into the public domain, which
was going
means that
into
now
the
characters
public
are
domain.
free game to go and actually do whatever you want with it creatively. And thus, they would go and create Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey. Now, I'm personally not, I am not against them making the film in general. Like, if you want to make a horror-themed Winnie the Pooh movie, go nuts with it. Why not? Like, there's a lot of great potential. It's just with Blood and Honey, I feel like it did not meet that potential. And then from there, for them to go and announce, like, an entire cinematic
did you always dress up
universe
as, like,
worth,
video game characters?
featuring so many other characters, like with Tigger, Tinkerbell, Sleeping Beauty, the Mad Hatter, and stuff like that. It's, honestly, it's grown worthy. And again, making, like,
I was trying to gain FNAF franchise a lot during that time.
desperately
But you
trying
always
to
have to, like,
capitalize
dress up as a
on
video
that
game
whole
character.
trend. It just it feels very tiresome. Like, I feel like that whole meme is just pretty much
Last time
dead
I
at this
checked
point.
it,
And the worst
last time
part
I
about it is
saw
that
people
not,
like dress up
it's
for
not
Halloween,
just
mostly just
with
kids. I
these
rarely saw
films
anyone
in
actually dress up as, like, a
particular,
video
but
game
there's
character.
So much more to come
It was always
that has
just
yet to
witches and
actually be
zombies or
released.
whatever.
And already, I feel like it's just so tiring, even before they would go and come out. Like, you guys remember at the beginning of the year when they announced so many different horror projects based on Mickey Mouse because Steamboat Willie was entering into the public domain?
Yeah.
Well,
And also, I always imagined
even
that
though
one
there's
cool
been, like, a
looking
whole
game,
bunch of, like,
Mousy.
different movies
The first person
and, like,
one.
a video game
Yeah,
and all
it actually
that
looks
kind of
pretty
stuff,
cool.
they have yet to even come out. Like, that whole trend of Steamboat Willie in the public domain, like, that's done. People, like, most people have already moved on from that. So by the time those movies actually come out, it's going to be, like, way too late for that, Like, they're just going to be way late in the game to try to capitalize on, like, Mickey Mouse's public domain status. And not only that, but there's even another one that was recently announced that made things even worse and made this whole trend even more tiring. Was, you guys remember not that long ago?
More all the time, 9th grade, I was Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that infamous Glasgow Willy Wonka experience? And you remember that, like, the AI-generated
fucking
script
amusement park
decided to
thing.
create this villain called the Unknown, the evil chocolate maker that lived behind the walls. Well, during the height of that popularity right there, they announced that they would go and make a horror film. Now, maybe it's not necessarily the same people making this, but someone somehow decided to announce, hey, let's go and make a horror flick based on The Unknown. And they even said that it was going to be released sometime around the end of this year, or at the earliest in the...
Also in kindergarten, I was Iron Man. First place, I was getting to Power Rangers. That's what I was dressed up as. I have to do this. Back in kindergarten, I think for Carnival, by one time or like maybe twice in Carnival, I dressed up as fucking... I dressed up as fucking Naughty. Yeah, I think I already showed you. I think I already told you who Naughty is. I dressed up as a fucking character for Carnival. Like twice, I believe.
Fall.
Yeah, I was really into that fucking cartoon when I was a kid.
This like again and again and again of taking like popular things in
I even had
family-friendly
fucking,
pop
I even
culture
had
media,
like a
and then
face
turning
paint
them
on
into
and all
into
and
cheap
everything.
horror flicks. Like now it's just now it feels like that kind of market has just been way too oversaturated, and very few, if not like none of them, turn out to be enjoyable and turn out to be good, or even turn out to be something that would
Second
be
grade Pikachu,
worth
third
our
grade.
time.
Oh,
So
alright. At least it
just
wasn't
based on my
at
experience,
least that wasn't the
from what I have
the last
seen
time we did
with
Link.
the original Pooh, Blood, and Honey, I cannot imagine how any of this could actually turn out to be worthwhile. I don't know if, like, rather it be the entire Poohniverse, or if, like, even the
That's such a
individual
shit
movies, like
name.
with the Pinocchio or Peter Pan or what have you. Like, like, honestly, it's hard to imagine if they're really going to be that worthwhile if all they're going to do is just keep on pumping out more and more of these cheap horror flicks at a rate that feels like it's going much faster than Disney would pump out the live action remakes. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at this and honestly, I'm wondering who the fridge is
Yeah, that time I was Link, everyone thinking it was Peter Pan. My family had to go laugh at it.
this for? Because I'm
Yeah, at least
like,
there's
I
that.
know
Yeah.
I am not the only one with these kinds of sentiments. I know there's many people out there who are tired of it. Like, rather it be like Disney fans or horror fans or movie fans or what have you. Like many, if not most people are actually tired of this. The only people I can imagine who would be excited for something like this to occur are those kinds of people who are still ranting and still commenting about how much they hate Disney's Wish. That's all I could really
Damn.
imagine that.
I mean, that movie was pretty mediocre, from what I understand. It wasn't just the worst thing ever. You know, way more worse movies than fucking Wish. One time, my brother was BMO from Adventure Time. He created the custom, so okay,
This is
pretty
specifically for. So yeah, I mean,
cool. We just
I
pulled
will
out a
say,
fucking
though,
random
there
cardboard
could
box and
be
just
that
put him,
very
just
slight chance
put himself
that I could be
inside it.
proven wrong. Maybe things can really go up from here. Maybe, like, with the release of Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2, suddenly the quality would get a massive boost, and suddenly those films are actually more and more enjoyable, where maybe Poohniverse Monsters Assemble could actually be pretty epic. There is that likelihood, but the chances of that are still
very low.
extremely small, and I still have massive doubts about it. So overall, yeah, I am really not excited for this one. I mean, I already got my taste with the first Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I don't think I really want more, and the fact that
Even
they're
made the buttons in the
really
D-pad too. I
pumping
thought it
out
was
all
crazy.
This is just,
Okay, yeah.
nah, man, I
At least it
don't
looks
think
like
so.
they
I
actually
mean,
put some effort into
the
it.
most positive that I could say is that, hey, I mean, the poster looks very nice. I mean, this is a pretty decent looking poster. Like, you know,
Yeah,
there's a
it doesn't
lot of
look
it
too
that
bad,
does
though.
look pretty badass. But is the movie going to turn out like this? Highly doubt it. So I just want to go and put out my entire thoughts on this, especially after witnessing myself what is Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. So just got to go and make a comment on that.
I think it's
All right, so
coming.
with
I
that
have to
said,
check
now I
later.
want to go and pass this on to the chat wall, and I'd like to ask you all, how do you all feel about Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey turning into an entire cinematic universe, turning into a whole Poohniverse, if you will? Are you guys? Do you guys disagree with me, and you're actually excited about this? Or do you guys feel pretty doubtful? In fact, I'm gonna go and make a poll on Twitch. I'm gonna go and actually ask you about that. Let me see here. So, are you interested
Halloween 2022,
in
almost nobody knew who
watching
Sora was.
the
Really? Even with the
Pooniverse?
Smash Ultimate thing?
Then I'll ask yes, and then I'll ask no. Alright, so let's see what the poll will be.
I'm pretty sure
And
that most
keep in
people
mind,
already
I'm
know
only
about Kingdom
asking
Hearts.
if you are interested. That doesn't mean if you think it's going to be good or not. Alright, so anyways, let's see what the comments have to say right over here. I did not expect the team who made... hold on a sec. I did not expect the team who made the Razzie-winning Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey to make a cinematic universe, something that even Universal has failed to do to create their own
My
dark
uncle knew who he
universe
was.
after so many
Like,
times.
he
And
knew,
I'm
but
already
he's a
tired
gamer.
of this very quickly. They are doing this as a cash grab to cash in on the cinematic universe that most franchises fail to do, but on a lower budget. Excuse me, folks. And I don't have any faith on this one. No one wants this, and I don't want it either. Okay. Let's see what else we have here. Can we just agree that the Marvel Cinematic Universe was a fluke? I'm sorry, but ever since they took off, studios have tried so hard to create cinematic universes out of whatever IP they have, and most of the time they end up failing. This Pooniverse will probably be another one of those failures.
The only reason
I
why
didn't see
Marvel
Blood and Honey,
worked,
but
at
after
least
hearing the
like
bad things
phase
about
1,
it,
2, is
I
that
didn't
they already had
bother.
like plans
Maybe
for
this
it.
will
They
do
were
fine
already
because
planning on
budgets are
doing
really
stuff
low,
like
but
that.
I expect little
So
interest
yeah,
in them.
that's how they
Well, I
managed
mean,
to
the
like
thing is that
get like a
this
shit
is,
ton of
you know,
movies
much like how Illumination,
scheduled up and
make their
shit.
movies very successful
Then have
by
all
having
these
a low
actors
budget.
show up
This is kind of
in
the
like
same thing. I
the same
believe
movies
the
over and
first
over
Blood and
again
Honey, if,
because it actually takes a lot of
if I do
fucking work.
recall, or maybe this article actually would mention
up
it,
and shit.
like it has a very low budget, and when I
That's
say a low budget,
that most companies
I
don't
mean,
want to
like,
fucking do.
yeah,
They
it
don't
says,
want to like
it
plan
says
out.
over
And
here, the film.
Love 30.
I think the last console he got was the PS3, but he gave it to my other uncle.
Filmmakers behind Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, the micro-budget slasher that sparked headlines for turning A.A. Milne's jovial bear into a feral serial killer and made an incredible $5.2 million at the box office after costing under $50,000 to make. So yeah, keep in mind, like, these are people who are able to turn $50,000 into over $5 million. And that's the thing. If they're able to make like more than $50,000 on each of their films, then yeah, that's considered successful for them. Like that's considered a big W. So from there, yeah, I mean, as long as it's a case of as long as they can make money, and in here it's very easy for them to make money.
As long as they can make like a big
now.
profit, it doesn't really
Blood
matter.
and Honey movies is one thing, but an
I
entire
think that's
universe
like the
based on
big
twisted
reason
horror
why
fairy tales, no
these
thanks.
low-budget movies are
I
really
just gotta
show up
ask,
because
why
again,
do you want to do
you
that?
don't need a lot of money
the
to make them.
Pooniverse movie being so
Back then, when my mom would drop me and my brother off, I think the only game my brother cared about for the PS3 was Portal 2. Okay, not a bad game to be obsessed over.
bad that it'll make the MCU movies look superior by comparison. Man, why can't this trend just stop already? I'm very tired of those types of tropes. I mean, again, it's just it's a very quick and easy
I
cash
don't
grab.
mind
That's really all
those
there is
games
to
as
it.
well. Like
Let's
Portal
see.
1 and
I
2 on the
haven't seen an
PS3.
attempt at a cinematic
Like, from the
universe
orange
this
box.
desperate since the Dark Universe. I did not like Blood and Honey, and I have no plans to watch the other movies. So, needless to say, I'm not gonna give this Pooniverse a go. Unless the Pinocchio horror flick casts Pauly Shore as Pinocchio. That'd be a real true story. Oh my god. I mean...
No, that'd be funny.
They can. That's the thing. That would be one thing that can really turn things around if they could somehow find a way to include Pauly Shore into this. I mean, it's not like Pauly is busy doing like a bunch of other stuff. So I could like
nobody
if they
really
could
wants
just add him
to,
in, just bring
get him
him
in the
on
movie.
board.
If you have Pauly Shore in the
make
movie,
a
then
horror
it's
version
it's
of
pretty
not
much
just any
a
Pinocchio,
fucking
but that Russian Pinocchio
fucking
movie.
I don't know,
Oh my god!
train
just
crash,
like you
plane
just
crash,
imagine
whatever.
like a girl is running.
Then he wanted a PS3 himself for Portal 2 Christmas 2014. My grandma got us an Xbox 360. extra control, and some good games including Persona Portal 2, Minecraft, and Garden Warfare.
Away in the
Okay.
forest, and you hear like this monster slowly creeping in, like skitty, skitty, skitty,
My-
skitty, skitty.
My grandpa did the same thing with my brother. I think my grandpa is the reason why my brother managed to get our original PS2, which sadly doesn't work anymore. At least the disc drive, or our original PS4's PS2's disc drive doesn't work anymore. I mean, it still powers on, but the disc drive doesn't work. Yeah, I think that's the only cause of that our grandpa got us. Later on, it was either just our parents giving us the consoles. Although I do remember my
Great
grandma
adventures
giving me one
await!
a movie for
Oh my
Christmas. I
God.
think it was
Does that mean we
Dougal.
could also get a horror version of Tybalt the horse? Oh, that would be
Oh my god, one of my local game stores, they had a broken PS2, but the employee said that he was only able to play PS1 games.
wonderful. Like,
I mean, it is possible with how PS2 disc drives work is they have like two lenses, I think. One that can read PS2 games and another one that can read PS1 games. So with that, in that scenario, then I think that the lens for the PS2 lenses went off, but the lens for the PS1 games still worked just fine. Yeah, I think the same thing happened with my original PS2. After a while, I had to like always put the PS2 in a very specific fucking position, just so that it could read like those blue PS2 discs.
get ourselves a horror John Hender horse. A horror John Heder horse. Oh, say that 5 times really fast. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Why are so many famous Disney characters getting horror adaptations?
Come on.
I get that people want to make their own versions of famous Disney characters, and while that's fine, the horror theme is getting repetitive. I understand,
fucking
and I
connecting?
respect the fans of horror, even if I don't like horror, but they
It was a slim model as well.
deserve so much better. Because they cost nothing. They're technically not Disney characters. They're just, they're just fairy tale characters. It's just that Disney has created the most famous versions of them. And it's because of that Disney iconography, they're using that as a crutch for their own marketing. That's the whole point of it. Let's see now.
Come on, why is it not
I
connecting?
gave absolutely no craps about Blood and Honey ever since it's announced.
It'd be cool if I get a PS2 so I can play games from each PlayStation game. I at least want to get the PS5 first. I mean, PS2 shouldn't be too expensive. I got mine for like probably like 30-40 bucks, something like that.
And I'm not more phased about the same happening to other family-friendly properties. This is also why I never let myself caught up in the public hype / bandwagons. It's really better to pay
Come
them
on,
no
man.
attention. Let this become the next
Why is
Disney
this not
live-action
fucking
remake
searching?
trend, and let's they make that a cinematic universe, God forbid. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we are at the point where it is kind of.
I'm not gonna buy too much now since I'm saving up for the PS5. I always buy the DLC for Hawks and BF and the other games. Hawks 1 and 2, they don't have DLCs. I mean, they did have DLCs before, but they all got delisted. But then they weren't required for for the trophy, so you should be fine with those. Yeah, the only DLCs for me to worry about right now are World at War and Black Flag. But right now, I want to go for the ones where I don't need to do and I don't need to get DLCs. Yeah, this one, and then Hawks 1 and 2.
Becoming the next Disney live action remakes, where like now it just feels like there's just way too many of them
Why
happening
is this not
again
fucking
and again,
connecting?
and it's just like,
Come on.
it just feels very tiring. I mean, it's one thing for
go
creative
to-
freedom,
do I need
but
to go
if
off
they're not
fucking
going to
Warped
put
Tour?
in the actual effort to go and make something good, and they just want to make like quick cash grabs out of them, then I'm just saying stuff like Pooh, Blood and Honey, and what we are seeing so far with this entire Pooniverse. Like this crap right here, even though the budgets are like
Let's see, how many volumes do I already
significantly
have?
smaller
It's
than
still
Disney's,
18.
stuff like this is really no
Oh,
different than
46.
what Disney
Okay,
is
at least
doing
at least they're still at least
with
they're
their
actually
live action
counting.
remakes. I'm just saying. All right, so I think I'm gonna read
Okay,
one
yeah,
more
let's see
comment,
if it works if I just get on a
before we
fucking
go
world
and
tour.
jump onto our next story, or at least two maybe. Let's see.
Yeah, let's see if that
This
works.
is one of the stupidest ideas I've heard for a cinematic universe. I haven't seen Blood and Honey, and I feel like these movies are going to be nothing more than soulless horror with very little effort put into it. And I'm just trying to capitalize on this trend. So overall, this is a bad idea. Seriously.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I'll be over here. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get some more stuff done off stream because I'm gonna have the entire day off. So let's see if I can get anything when I'm done off stream. But yeah, I think that should do for today though. And I doubt I have any extra time for any other games. At least they're pretty good then. Yeah, let's see how many medals I already have. Yeah, at least the starting ones are already like at least bronze. The rest I can get them on single player. Alright, yeah. Yeah, it looks like you're gonna be a little busy with some stuff, so we'll see. Okay. Yeah, 175. I mean 250 for this to be golden. Just from the online related trophies, which ones are you missing? I mean, they're not trophies. It's like more medals. Like there's a trophy for getting all the gold medals, but some of the medals are online required. So, yeah. Right now it's just like most of the trophies, like the actual from the trophy list, you can get from single player, but there's like this one online this one trophy where you have to get all the gold medals. The thing is, some of the gold medals you need to do online stuff. I mean, I've already got like a good chunk of them. Not all of them. I think there's still like a couple of these where you can only do in single player. But yeah, I already have a couple of them there here. Hold on. Actually, put some music on while I work this up. Okay, here we go. Alright, let's see. Right, let's see. These ones I can do just fine. Yeah, I think at the end of the farming I should have these two done as well. Because you just have like to do normal tosses or shots. Yeah, top spins. Yeah, those ones aren't too hard to do. Right, these ones I have to probably do in later. Probably when I'm gonna be doing what was it? Network? Yeah, I'm doing network with them as well. Let's see. Single player. Working on this one later. We're currently working on this one. Single player. Yeah, single player. Exhibitionist. Yeah, single player as well. We have to work on these ones as well. Single player. 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 I can get these two done during the farm, and there we go. Yeah. Yeah. The problem is not that being too many medals to do these. Just some of these medals take fucking forever to do. Yeah, just mostly just the ones where you have to get wins. They take fucking forever. Yeah, I think that should do it for today, though. Let's see. Yeah, no. I'm not feeling like doing more Ratchet and Clank because we only have like what less than 45 minutes left. So I don't know. Yeah, and not feeling like doing just like less than an hour. So yeah, I guess I'll do for a day. Just do this. They're pretty good though. I don't think I got any trophies. Yeah, I don't think so. Okay, yeah, I could just maybe turn off the console. Alright, I think that should do. Now let me just put this back here. There we go. Much better. So yeah, that's gonna be it for this session of Virtua Tennis 2009. We are doing pretty good. We're like almost at 200 wins. I think we stopped at like 195, I think. Yeah, something like that. So we should be almost at like 200 wins in ranked matches. So maybe by the time I'm done with ranked, I should be done with volleys and maybe smashes. Maybe we'll see. Then we can, once we start doing online SPT, I'll do it right now. I need to like farm up those, but I need to farm up the wins for him. But then again, I don't get points when he's the one winning. Oh well. Yeah. Once we're done with ranked, I should be done with the volleys and the smashes. And then once we do all my PT, I should be able to get the top spins. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today though. Next stream shall be on Friday, where we are gonna be continuing on where we left off with, I don't know, probably Virtua Tennis, Ratchet and Clank, or maybe we can start doing Sonic Unleashed. I don't know, we'll see. But in the meantime, I can probably do some more farming tomorrow or on Thursday. Yeah, we started that. But yeah, again, next stream shall be on Friday at 9:30 p.m. GMT1, where we are gonna be doing more random shit. If you like to be notified when I go live or any other shenanigans I have in mind, my stream schedules or video uploads, you can go to my Discord where you will be notified as such. And if you also want to keep track of any previous streams in the past, you can also go to my YouTube channel as well. Now with all that said and done, who are we gonna be raiding today? Well, let's use on right now, shall we? Alright, let's use on right now. I was just messaging the guy again. Let's see. Alright. Let's support a good a fellow artist, shall we? Let's see here. What do you mean? What do you mean that? There we go. So yeah, for this stream we are gonna be reading Chase Cubed. Right now they're just doing an art stream. It looks like it's just drawing a... Is it a goblin? Looks like it. I mean, it just starts drawing, so it could be anything. So yeah, you guys have fun with Chase. Have yourselves a merriest day. And as always, have a good one. Bye. Bye-bye. See ya. Have a good one. Bye. Bye-bye. See ya.